All right, everybody, you board game degenerates. Welcome to Crowdfunding Countdown. We're going to take a look at every single board game campaign finishing up in the next week. And there's a lot of them. You know, I didn't think that there was going to be a lot of them. But then there's this thing over on BackerKit, which has like 100 campaigns called Pocketopia. So this episode, no shout out goes to Wilt for telling me about it, because now I know about it and now I got to do it. So we're going to cover all those. We're going to cover all the board game campaigns that exist in the world ever, at least for this week. But before we do, I'm going to give a huge shout out to my newest patron, John. John, thank you so much for jumping on board, supporting the channel. I met John at WSBG. John's another WSBG head, did quite well in some of the tournaments. So thanks, John. It's very nice of you to support the channel. And thanks, as always, to all of my existing patrons as well. You're the friggin' best, except for Wilt, who told me about all these campaigns. So let's cover all these campaigns first. Oh my god. Let's do it. I have a new mic today, so I hope that it's a bit better, because I think my other one wasn't as good. And this one glows. Ooh, that's how you know I'm a professional streamer. Oh, it's even on the back. Look at that. Oh, looky. Who got cookie? We did. Okay, let's get into it. How many tabs do I have open? 23 just from BackerKit. 44 games. This gonna be a long one, I guess. No, but probably not, because I assume that a lot of these small little Pocketopia ones are gonna be pretty easy. They're gonna be small box games. They're all about small card games. So we'll see if there's any merit to any of them. Okay, let's check it out. BackerKit, look at that. You actually are relevant. I thought there was a Hercules one, but this doesn't. Oh, I was thinking about the Hercules, the one that where your cards get upgraded. That's not this one. Oh, that's a big boy. So on Pocketopia, this all runs until April 3rd. Apparently 54 out of 66 projects funded. So I clicked on 20 of them, because there's some like little RPG stuff. I clicked on ones that seemed like games, or ones that seemed like they might have something to them. And so in this one, it's a little solo game. I think they're all solo games or similar. They're small box games. Anyway, this is a solo game where you will have to send your dice on a journey of Hercules and his 12 labors. You'll take out all these characters with your dice rolls, having to assign your dice, and then when you kill them, they become items. So very 20 strong like. It is cool how the labors kind of sync together. It always starts with a Nemean lion. Each labor you have to shuffle the event deck and draw a card. This card will influence your adventure. Sure, just a slight twist. And then you roll for glory. Roll your Hercules dice, take on the labor. Use your dice to deal damage or unlock powerful bonuses on your reward cards that you get from killing other stuff. And take them out. So in this one, 5s and 6s will damage the Nemean lion by 1. And you have to go through their little track there. And the Hercules can increase or decrease any die by 1 pip for the cost of 1 health point, is what you start out with. The labor die will move after every turn. Defeat the labor before the die reaches the skull. I'm not quite sure then how many you have to assign. Will damage the line by 1. I assume it has a health tracker somewhere, but we're just not seeing the health tracker. I thought that was the health tracker, but that's the time tracker, which will deal bad things to you every time you wait. And then the next labor will have the same thing, and the next labor will have the same thing. Presumably some of the labors will give you different pathways as well. Once you've completed all 12 labors, you win. Rulebook coming soon. Well, that's great. I don't have to pay attention because you didn't show me about your health tracker. But, you know, that gets a pretty good sense of it. I imagine for all these games, too. I know I really am huge on the rulebooks, but that will give you a sense of the game. I think there's only so much mitigation you can do with these dice games. I found that with 20 Strong as well. The simple roll, check, see if you've won, continue to roll, mitigating your dice is fine, but it doesn't really get me thrilled beyond recognition. Okay, where's the shipping information? One game is $8 to the US, and of course GameFound doesn't have, you have to click through, so $25 is what it'll be. So $33 US for this Hercules and the 12 labors. You get, I don't know, 16 dice or something like that of this normal dice and some cards. The artwork looks cool. This one's a potential. It's raised $25,000. I think that's on the higher end of this Pocketopia as well. So if you're interested in that, that finishes April 3rd at 4 p.m. All of these do. Next one up is called Farm Feuds. It's only 9 backers have contributed to it. I guess it hasn't funded. I don't think it will fund. It's a very easy play a card to do a bad thing to someone else and extend the game until it's over style of game. It's a Munchkin style game. That's all you really need to worry about that. It does not look good. Let's move on to Super Battle Mon. Super Battle Mon fighter packs. Step into the world of Super Battle Mon as a fighter. Each pack includes a powerful 11-card team. It's a trading card game that anyone anywhere can enjoy as long as you have a team. Choose 7 cards to build your deck. You have 11 to choose from. You play 1 card at the same time. The card will have a cost. You'll have to discard cards from your hand. The stronger it is, the more you have to play. You can use your ranger power. And then the highest number wins. The loser discards a card. The player with most cards in play wins. In a tie, the player with the most power wins. So you have, okay, read the rules is not clickable. Great. Yeah, I'd love to read the rules. Can't click it. If you're interested in this, I mean, like, how much are you? How much are you trying to get? A single pack is like $10. If you're interested in this sort of head-to-head battle idea, I wouldn't do this one. It doesn't sound that interesting to me. I think I would recommend, oh, what's that one that I did a review on? This is it. The mind's gone. Mindbug. Man, that took me too long to think about. Just get Mindbug. You get the cute creatures. You get the playing cards down. It's much better than, hey, did you play the higher number? You did. Way to go. The potential hand management of discarding cards in your hand might be interesting. The fact that if you want to play 1 card, you have to discard 3 from your hand feels incredibly punishing. I don't know. Maybe the abilities are interesting. I mean, you can play an extra Mon. You can have people reveal their hand first. It seems fine. Happy that some people are backing it, but I just don't think it seems that good. Okay, I feel like that's going to be the theme of a lot of this, but we're going to move on to primary potions. Again, we're potentially blazing through these. Sometimes we'll catch gems. Currently, Hercules is the number 1 so far. Everything else, not interesting. Primary Potions is a colorful light strategy open information card game based around the color wheel. Mix components and use potions to combat your friends to become the Prime Minister Alchemist. Oh, sorry, the Prime Master Alchemist. Okay. I love every single TikTok video will start with this amazing game, this stupendous game, this magic spewing game, this adjective game. It's the format, it's the script. Now you'll never unhear it. You probably couldn't unhear it beforehand. Craft a potion or drink it. Want to be the last person standing, you're brewing potions to steal cards from other people. Or steal their potions. You gotta either make a potion or drink a potion. If you can't do that, you're out. How much what are you looking for? 10 bucks? 20 bucks. No thanks. 20 bucks plus shipping? I don't think so. That's 1 for 4 of these. Let's keep on going to this one. Did I even watch this? Oh, it was a live? It's a live playthrough. Space Lion, 153 backers. Space Lion, deploy your army, level them up, and outwit your opponents in this rad sci-fi dueling game for 2 players. Get a free Space Lion poker deck for being an early backer. Well, that's not me. You may start at even footing. You rapidly gain asymmetry by promoting your units to powerful new forms. Collect 10 medals to win. Leon Strife is a reimagining of our 2 to 5 player game Space Lion, streamed for the 2-player dueling experience. I remember Space Lion. I think I remember Space Lion. I remember thinking it looked okay, if I'm thinking of the right one. Because I remember you fought everybody on your sides as well, and then it whittled down if you were playing with multiple people. Hold the most power at an outpost to gain medals. So it's a lane battler. Collect 10 medals to win. The order in which you upgrade your units is critical. Do you rush to level 3 Marine, or do you get 2 other units to level 2 first? Ooh la la, look at these decisions. Soulless Game Studios. Yeah, that sounds familiar. Deploy your units face up or face down. Bigger number wins. Worth more and more points over time. That makes sense. That seems kind of fun enough. The idea of there is a decision here at least, right? It's not just throw down a random card like the Pokemon one. It is, hey, you can choose to put your cards face up or face down. Face down gives the opponent no information about your number because the highest number wins. And then face up gives you the ability on your card. So maybe it's worth using the ability on your card. Maybe it's not. And at the end of every round, you kind of get to upgrade a card in your deck, and it upgrades all that type of that card. That seems neat. 21 bucks for that one. What everyone is saying, the Game Boy Geek has you covered. Cool. Shipping a game is $9. So you're looking at $30 for this dueling card game. Again, for me in Canada, it'd be like $50. Not interested, but doesn't seem horrible. Doesn't seem like a bad game. 2 for 5, I'd say. Let's keep going. Soul Cemetery. Should have made this its own designated video. Soul Cemetery is a solo survival horror tabletop game about exploring a video game from your childhood, seeing how it's changed, how you've changed, and how you've changed each other. Okay. Okay, that tells me nothing. Solo horror tabletop role-playing game. Ah, it's a role-playing game. It's a fake video game about a detective Hashford returning home to investigate the death of her father, only to find something sinister beneath the surface of her childhood town. Sure. Thought it was a board game, but it's a RPG, so. Next, we have Bolted. See, I picked this one because I like the art on the cards. Everyone wants friends. Luckily, you have a bunch of loose body parts right here. Can you bolt, screw, and rivet them together to construct viable friends for you to enjoy spending time with? Yes. The answer is yes. Note they can have no feet and 5 heads if you want. Yes. Finally, a way I can make some friends that will exist how I see them, how I see fit. Finally, it happened. Finally, I built my friends, and I got them 2 heads, and I call them the Speed Demon. Finally, they've got a sweet beak, and they'll peck out my face, and I'll give them my eyeballs. Finally, I can play with their feet. Fast-paced puzzle game where players race to assemble bizarre creatures, or as I like to say, make friends. I'm the creator of Wondermark, a comic strip I've been making for over 20 years by assembling vintage illustrations into something new. Now you can do the same! Bolted is a game for 2 to 4 players, plays in about 30 minutes, and contains no adult content. I'm out! Unless you count it being deeply weird. I'm back in! Ah! Why have you given me the ability to feel pain? The goal is score the most points at the end of the game. How do you earn points? Adding parts to your friends. Each part is a certain point value. Some grant bonus points when placed in certain ways, sure. Creating special combinations. Certain configurations of parts can unlock bonus points, if you can pull them off. Well, you're not supposed to pull off the parts, you're supposed to pull them on. You'll pull them right on, clack them right into place. Any player may awaken their friend once they've assembled enough suitable parts. As soon as that happens, the game enters its final round. Everyone gets one final turn to maximize their score. Count up your body point. I want to know how to play. Why is how to play after shipping? Like, come on. $5 to the US. Okay. And again, stupid goddamn Game Found. Not telling me how much the game is going to be. I mean, Backer Kit. Sorry, Game Found. Sorry for disparaging you. I meant Backer Kit. Game Found, you're perfect. Bolted game, $29. It's what it's going to cost you. Okay, so everything has a matched connector type. I see. Universal joint. So heads can be put anywhere. That makes sense. So in order to place something, you need to have the matched connectors, and you'll run out of connectors. Bonus points if used as a hand, meaning connected to a shoulder. Okay. So you want to use them as the pictures suggest. Sure, this will be 34 for that. Seems, fun enough. The art is fun. Way too expensive again, but what can you do? Next up, Duelgeon. Roll, battle, steal, and loot. Dungeon crawling mayhem in your pocket. Delve into treacherous ruins in this card-driven dungeon-delving adventure where deadly traps, fierce monsters, and powerful mini-bosses await. Will you challenge the boss and snatch the loot, or roll to battle rival adventurers in a race for glory? What will you do? 1 to 4 player game filled with insane loot. Ooh. You're going to have a dungeon. You're going to put all these cards. You're going to move around on these cards, flip them up, and then have to duel whatever things get flipped up. And you use D4s for some insane reason that they wanted to have D4s in this game. The worst dice. Do we have any D4 lovers out there? I mean, I don't really hate D4s, but they're objectively the worst dice. And they've been changed. There's a rolling pin version of a D4 where you can just roll it. And I think that feels a lot better. A round is move, action, loot. Move in a direction, perform your action, collect your loot. When you kill a monster, you remove it. But don't die, because then everybody will get to steal your own stuff. Where's the rulebook? Any rulebook? Nope, probably not. Well, that's a shame. Should have put a rulebook if you wanted me to look at your game. Free local pickup in Los Angeles, California, but the estimated shipping cost for everybody else is $12 to the US, the rest of the world $30, and it would cost you, what, $20? $20 should be the average for these things. $25. 154 cards. Yeah, okay, that's not too bad. I mean, it seems like a fine gimmick of a dungeon crawler. I don't see anything here that's going to thrill me to the nines of just moving and rolling dice in a way that any other dice game where you roll dice does. So that's a miss for me. It seems fine. Let's move on to Pride and Prejudice, the courtship card game. Step into the world. There's 33 backers. Oh, that's probably bad then. Step into the world of Pride and Prejudice in the strategic matchmaking card game. Use proposal cards to pair beloved characters and form successful marriages. Will love triumph or will scandal ruin your plans? Be the first to secure 3 matches to win. Yum, 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 yum. Oh, disgusting. Yeah, really, really bad. This is the game Hollywood Hunks. essentially, except it is worse than Hollywood Hunks. It's war. Trait challenge mode. Outwitting opponents in trait challenge mode. What are you going to outwit? Collect the most cards by guessing based on different strategies. Each player draws a card, places it face up. Players either choose pride or prejudice as their highest trait. The first player with the most collected cards wins the game. It's war. Match 2 sets of cards, of 3 cards consisting of a relationship. And how do you match the cards? Who knows? It's just horrible. I can't believe that this was ever created. May God have mercy on your souls. Have you ever heard of Hollywood Hunks? I don't even know if it's on BGG. Let's see what Google tells us when we search Hollywood Hunks. My favorite 100 Hollywood Hunks. No. Top Hollywood Hunks of all time. No. Although I will tell you that I don't know if I've ever shared this before on this channel, but I am on a list of hunks. In fact, this list is called Bucky's Big Crushes. Yeah. Bucky's Big Crushes. If you look through this list, there's now 7,405 people. Bucky gets around, I'll tell you that for free. Bucky's got a lot of crushes. The men that I find attractive, that's all to it. That's all there is to it. That's all to it. Bucky's Big Crushes. Sort by list order. I'm pretty sure I'm in the 2000s because I sent it to my friend at one point. Really, I was just trying to impress her. She was not impressed. Well, she was impressed, but top 2000, I was top 2000. What number am I? I'm in the 1900s to the 2000s of the list. Okay, I'm going to prove it. Bucky's Big Crushes. Oh, it just keeps going. Oh, it keeps going. Oh, it keeps going. Anyway, I don't have to show you, but I mean, it should be pretty easy to find me. So, you know, whatever. I mean, I just want you to be impressed that Bucky's out there eating me up, baby. At least there's one. At least there's somebody out there. Bucky's Big Crushes. Bucky, if you're watching, you give me a call, okay, baby? Dane Cook was 1250. Okay. Anyway, I'll tell you about Hollywood Hunks in a second. But I know you're not here for the games. I know you're here for the tangents. If I don't find myself on this list, and Vincent Duval is on it. Anton Poryazov. Oh, you know, he's handsome. He's pretty handsome. Okay, I think I'm in the 1900s. Honestly, I'll take it. I'm in good company with Ruben Dario. And if this list has changed, well, we're not going to spend any more time trying to find me. Come on, Bucky, don't let me down. Bucky, please. Bucky, you were the only one who I had left. Bucky, what have you changed the list? Bucky? No, Bucky, yeah! Hey! The year I was born, Chris George. Oh, Ed Monroe. Oh, they were obviously watching Ransom. And they thought that Monroe and I were tasty little treats. Benicio del Toro, I'll take it. I'm in good company. Yes. Sorry, Jason Blum. You know who's higher on the list? This guy. Okay, why were we looking this up? Hollywood Hunks. I've never been to Hollywood. Hollywood Hunks BGG. It doesn't even have a Board Game Geek page. That's how horrible a game it is. It has to be. Anyway, my buddy Cody and Colin, who's been on the channel before. Cody... Hollywood. Yeah, it doesn't exist. Okay, I have to find this game to show you that I'm telling the truth. Hollywood Hunks is just a game where you pull out a hunk for their... Yeah, there we go. Hollywood Hunks, John Travolta, Sex Appeal 7, Charisma 6, and you choose what stat you're gonna fight people with, and then it's war. Jeff Goldblum, likability 10, talent 4. Whoa, Hollywood, weird crushes Hollywood Hunks. Why would you come for Jeff Goldblum like that? I can see John Travolta having talent 4. I'm sorry. You're gone downhill, my man. Arnold Schwarzenegger, talent 3? Oh my God. Hollywood. Anyway, if you like your hunks and you want to compare their stats amongst each other in a war category and gobble up all the hunks for yourself, just like Bucky and his big crushes, well, I suggest you get Pride and Prejudice, the courtship game. No, because Hollywood Hunks is even better, and it's so bad. But my friend Cody, who's Colin's roommate, just loves it so much, and it makes me so mad. And he makes him love it even more. All right, well, we're moving on to Foxy Deck. This is just a deck of cards with foxes on them. And honestly... this is better than most of the stuff I think that's going to be on Pocketopia. Way to go, Brielle. My 12-year-old stepdaughter was inspired by my journey to create board games and now created this beautiful deck of playing cards. She's now 17 and preparing for college. It's time to release this project to help her raise money for school. Nice. For art school, you go, Brielle. These are beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Way to go, Brielle. Yeah, this is an awesome deck of cards. How much is it? $20? Probably. 13! Oh my goodness, Brielle. You're killing it. Best one so far. All right. Next up, we have Otter. I don't even know her. Play all of your adorable critter cards onto super cute otters to win. Climbing, shedding card game for 1 to 4 players. Okay. Play all your cards first to win. But otters are picky. You can draw a card to change what they want. They want frogs. And now they're all better. There are rules about numbers and rules about suits. There are rules about a lot of things. You gotta follow both rules. You can keep playing your turn. If you only follow one rule, the next player goes, because the otters are fickle, fickle benches. It's like a little puzzle. Look, that otter's hungry. He wants a little frog. A higher number than the number that's played. If you played Uno, Scout, or Crisps, play all your cards to win the round. $7 shipping. Okay, cool. Tell me the game. Where's the game here? On your turn, you pick one of 3 otters to play cards on. Each has a rule about numbers and a rule about suits. Play onto an otter's tummy, you have to follow at least one of the rules. So you need to have a higher card than 9. Well, what's higher than 9? Nothing. Or you play a suit. But if you follow both, you can play there again and again. More. You can change the rules of each otter by flipping and swapping heads and tails. Each flip and swap makes you draw a card, so playing carefully. But then you can still keep going? I hope you can change the rule and still keep going. Last thing to know is that after somebody wins a round, you refill your hand without discarding the old cards. This lets you hold on to a lot of cards of one suit to have a better round next time. It's super fun to dump a ton of cards at once, but if someone is playing faster than you, it's best to hold off to have a better round in the future. Okay. I kind of like that as an idea as well. Sure, I think visually, yeah, the visuals are fun. I think I would not care, but, you know, people seem to be very excited that there are otters in a game. So, if you're interested in that, play Pearlbrook. $16,000? Wow, nice. Way to go, Otter. You're killing it. You're doing a lot of heavy lifting for Pockettopia. Not as much as Hercules, but I think that's the second one. Oh, $15,000 for Bolted. I can see why people got in on this, you know, that people will spend money on anything. I think it's fine. I mean, I'm sure it's a fine game, but how much are you? Well, let's see, because it doesn't show us the price here. Otter print and play files $1. Great. Deluxe game, $25. So $25 plus 7 shipping is like $32. Again, it's like $50 for me in Canada. Why would I ever pay that, right? There's just no world in which that scale makes sense. But cute art, definitely cute art. Okay, we're going to keep on moving. Oh, we're going to make it through. I'm glad I didn't click on all 55. 54 funded, died. Duat, The Underworld Awaits. Duat is an abstract puzzle strategy game for 2 players made entirely out of marble. Okay. With only 3 moves a turn, you'll constantly wrestle with how to best defend your own pieces while threatening your opponents. Push them off the edge and escape the underworld. Okay, so these are your marble tokens. It's an abstract game. It's made of marble. Great. How to play. You take 3 actions. You rotate a piece. You move a piece forward from the sun. When you move a piece, you can push any number of pieces in front of you. But you cannot push any pieces that are facing yours because they'll push back against you. Push all your pieces off the game board. Sure. That seems, yeah. If you like abstract games, it seems fine enough. I think it'll get to the point where you'll push that, and then they'll rotate it, and you'll be fine, and then you'll be deadlocked, and then you have to move the other ones around. And it's $40 for this because it's marble. I don't think that this would intrigue me enough to, because you could just play it as a print and play. You could get 3 tokens and put a little arrow on them and try this game out and see if it's very, very fun and you want to have it on your coffee table. This is the sort of game that you would have on a coffee table that like you would play a round of when someone would come over and then they'd say like, oh yeah, this is why like I don't really like board games. You know? And you go, no, but my shelf is so good. And then you had this on your coffee table and you led with it. And now they'll never play any board games with you again. Next up, we have Pete's Place. Avoid greedy seagulls and race to fill the plates. Hungry diners wait to be served a selection of seaside favorites. Beware of the greedy seagulls. They swoop down to try to steal your food off your diner's plate unless you can stop them. Do you have what it takes to outserve your opponents? 36 people who love Pete and his place. There's a 16-minute video that I'm not going to watch. You can only ever have one of each piece of food in a meal. My box and bags of Doritos for the last week would tend to disagree with you there, Pete. Tend to disagree with you there. Am I too loud? I'm probably too loud. Pete's Place! Lunchtime special, £22. Woof. Here's how you play. Select a starting player. Play will progress in clockwise order. You have 2 parts. The action phase, where you can play a meal to the table, or play an action card, or draw cards. Once your action phase is complete, check your hand size. If your hand size is larger than 6, discard them. You'll try to play the largest meal from your hand that they possibly can. The larger the meal, the more points at the end of the game. Keep eyes on other players, though, who could be playing their action cards to disrupt and hinder your dinners, donaires. TD Insurance is saying I could save 10% on life insurance. They assume I have something to live for. Or any dependents. It's you. It's all you watching. For example, playing a seagull colored against an opponent will steal food from either their hand or one of their served meals unless they can stop it. Oh, have a card, play a card to steal a card, use the card to take a card, and play a card to stake a card. You'll get bored of this one in 3 plays. We're moving on to Forest Floor. Nature can be a contest. I feel like I'm being very flippant because I'm going through these games very quickly. But here's the thing. Not much is interesting. It's really not. I don't understand how, honestly, many of these games have funded. And I'm not trying to be mean if anybody's watching. And if you are, and I've hurt your feelings because I've been flippant, well, I'm just trying to be funny. And I think it's great that you are designing these games. I think it's great that people are finding a market. But can we retire the I'm going to play a card that slows you down that I just drew randomly and have no other interesting mechanisms that are going on in that? I mean, I guess like Scram and Silver even have that, but there's like something else to the game. You know, it's fine to have cards with abilities. Cards with abilities are great. You know, Hercules, love the cards with the abilities over there. Something else, the Solar Space Lions 2, love the abilities that they're putting forward. But like, are any of these like anyone's favorite game? Could they become someone's favorite game ever? If not, why even consider them? I'm trying to like check myself, and maybe I'm being overly cynical, or because I feel like I'm being really flippant. I don't know. I think I'm being funny, but I also am just trying to be nice, I guess. But I really just don't know how. When I think a lot of these games would really just actively detract from the board gaming hobby, in a sense. I think that if you pulled it out and people would go, oh yeah, that's cute. And they're like, this is what you're so obsessed about? Like, that's what I'm trying to frame it as. If you're leading with something like this, and they'll go like, yeah, that was fine. But like, you talk about board games all the time, and you're leading with this? I don't know. That's kind of how I feel. I don't know how to be nice, so I guess I'll just continue to be mean. Forest Floor, nature can be a contest. I certainly hope so. Forest Floor is a strategic card game that leverages a shared and ever-changing deck to create an element of tactical depth. Players must carefully manage their resources and anticipate their opponent's move. Sure, great pitch. Is there strategy? Thinking ahead is key. Short turns, great. You build a unique ecosystem by carefully choosing which cards to plant. However, opponents can use a special mulch card to directly disrupt your progress. Oh no! Slowing you down once again. A core feature of this game. As you gain an advantage, you quickly become a target. Oh no! You are ahead, and therefore people will target you to slow you down. Stop it! The goal is to build a strong collection of plants, either a diverse variety or focus on a single type. And that's fine, like that's how things balance themselves, right? But when that's your pitch, stop it. Like that should just be inherent in a game. If you want to win in the game, yeah, try to win. Oh, I'm going to stop you from winning so that I can win. Yeah, I get that. Like that's in a lot of games. But if that's the feature of your game, that's not a feature. That's a bug. The mulch phase throws chaos into the mix. Okay, cool. Well, I do like that all these have different abilities, sure. Mulch plant is beginner friendly. Play fast. See, tell me how it plays then. Don't keep telling me that it just plays fast. Like this, it plays really, so quick. Plays really quick. Oh, it's going to play really quickly. Card design, prioritize easy reading. Yeah, tell me how to play. Oh, no, now we're going to talk about the art. Like, have you told me how to play? And I've just scrolled through it. Build your ecosystem. How do you play? How do you do that? The mulch phase is very exciting. What is it? It's core loop mulch plant. Is this it? Play it this way? How to play? Play it this way. Carefully select plants. Consider their strength. The limited card pool. What your opponents might infer from your choice. Just tell me what I'm doing. Tell me what I'm doing. Don't be like a curated art piece that tells me that the artist was sucking on lemons while they were painting it 1700 years ago. You don't know that. Just tell me how to play. Oh my good God. This is the most like nonsense I've ever heard. One, plant. It's the foundation of your victory. You're going to have to plant. It's strategic decision making. You got to consider your long-term and your short-term goal Tell me what those decisions are. My God, what is this rule book? I can't believe I've spent so much time trying to learn about this game that I know is going to be just awful. But I want, I want to know. I need to know now. Oh, I need to ban Wilt from the Discord. That's what I need to do. Oh, man, oh, man. Players have 3 possible actions in their turn. Plant, mulch, or germinate. To perform any action, a player must first flip a token face down of the action they want to do. You have tokens? Cool, I didn't know that. To germinate, flip one of your tokens face down and turn it sideways. Why does that matter? This signals to other players that they're using their action for their turn. To win, players must assemble a set of core plants. This can be achieved by either collecting one type of 5, 4 of the same. 1 of each, 4 of the same. Of course. Oh, my neck is so sore, too. What is planting? I don't know. Planting is the action you take during the plant phase of your turn. It allows you to place plant cards from your hand onto your playing field. This activates their effects and helps you build towards a winning set. Flip the plant token. Sure. You play a card. Some cards may allow you plant cards without using your plant action. Mulch, you also get to mulch. If any player has an active mulch token, you can play a mulch card. Everybody can play it, all face down or revealed, and then flip up mulch cards. What can the mulch cards do? Water Lily is a mulch card. Lavender's a mulch card. Look at the top 3 cards of the deck. Put 1 in hand. Oh, there you go. Draw 3 cards. Put 2 cards from your hand onto the top of the deck. Attacking people then. But you could get another card that could then attack people. I'm gonna make a card game that's just all the keywords are like draw X cards from the deck in a different way. It's like, yeah, now draw 3 cards from the deck. Oh, you drew the blue bulbous. You can draw 2 cards from the deck, and you can give your opponent 1, and then your opponent across the table has to give you a card randomly that you call out what card you want, which will then allow you to play an additional card. So you can draw 3 from the bottom of the deck. So if you set cards into the bottom of the deck, you're going to draw those cards. And then when you pull from the bottom of the deck, you can also draw from the special mystery pile where you have set aside cards throughout the game. You can pull cards from that mystery card. And this card makes the opponent also have to discard 2 cards into the mystery deck. So there's a chance that you can get those cards back from the mystery deck later on. I literally came up with one of these Kickstarters. I could be in Pocketopia. We could call it card drawing. We'll just call it card drawing the game. The game's $32 Australian. I should have saved this for last. I don't know if I can continue. Come on, Underleaf. Help me. Help me. You're my only hope. Oh, no. Oh, but look at how much it's raised. 17,000 Canadian. Okay, this is going to be a good one. A tiny foraging set collection game. Calling all nature lovers. I'm here. Underleaf is a tiny forest floor-inspired set collection game for 2 players. Take turns foraging for berries, beetles, mushrooms, and frogs to build the highest scoring collection. Okay, sure. I mean, this one actually is a good price compared to all the others. It's 18 US. Maybe that's how it's doing better. And I like this. You roll the dice. You're going to reveal that many cards. And then you can buy those cards with pebbles, and you can sell cards in your hand you're no longer trying to collect sets for and take pebbles and freckles. Episode 179, the end of Crowdfunding Countdown. Oh, cross collaboration with Otter. Look at, there you go. You get extra stuff if you get 2 games. Cool. Oh, look at that. Rules near the top of the page. Yes, Underleaf. We love you. You start with 5 shekels. You can buy from either the leaf pile or the sell pile in return. Okay, there you go. 1 pebble per card. You can only buy 1 type of card. You must buy all revealed cards of that type. Good, a restriction. Nice. You can buy cards from the sell pile for 2 pebbles. 2 little pretzels. 2 brezzles. Powering down. Sold cards, face up in the sell pile. You can only sell once per turn. Frog cards are wild. How do you score? Score 3 points for every matching pair. A pair of frogs counts as 5 points. Hey, there you go. Buy and sell. I can say that it isn't a bad one. I'm not going to recommend you get it, but I think if I played it, I wouldn't have an actively horrible time. So that's 3 of them, I think, that we've covered right now. Okay, we're going to move on to Centipede, a quick card game of crafting plushy centipedes. It's good. All of these do really belong on BackerKit. That's what I would have to say about it. Craft, cut, and count a lot of legs in this quick tactical card game for 2 to 5 players, in which you build the most adorable plushy centipedes. Centiplebians. Because the human centipede theme was copywritten and too adult. That's why you're making plushy centipedes. You know what? You take the role of toy makers, and you're going to build your little centipede out. Be the first player to complete 3 centiplebes. A player that completes a centipede if it reaches exactly the desired number of legs during the turn. Most of the time, this will be achieved by adding cards with legs to Centipede. Yes, I know it's a centipede, okay? It's a purposeful choice. Each head has a desired number of legs, I think. I'm intrigued enough. How do you even get your cards, though? Just draw up from a main deck, probably. 21.90 euros. Still too expensive, but again, not something that would actively make me want to gouge my eyes out and throw them across the room. Which is a positive from my normal life. Bluff Pastry! Hey, I like bluffing. Let's see if this one's any good. A fun, fast-paced card game with a lashing of deviousness. Sure, lash me away with some pastry, mommy. Just get that lattice work all over me. Tie me up in a lattice pie and introduce me to your mother. 4 pastry types, 4 sweet fillings, 4 savory fillings, 4 sauces. 1 satisfied queen. Make the pie your guests are expecting, or sabotage your opponents. Oh, good. I'm glad we have it. 2 scrumptious bluff point cards. Pie yourself in the face, and 1 for your friend. Uh-oh, the moment the queen hired 2 pie chefs, you feared this day would come. You better not get the pie wrong. The only issue is, you must offer any ingredients in your larder to the highest bidding. To the highest bidder, you check over the decree wording, and notice there's no specific wording saying you have to tell the truth about what you're offering. So perhaps that's the ace up your sleeve. Take turns offering and bidding on ingredients until your larder is empty, and then pray the pie turns out to be something resembling their order. Alright, so you probably get to choose, Pete's Place, the 2 food ones. A little more about the rules, yeah. There are 18 cards. Before the play begins, chefs use 4d4 to secretly reveal the pie they need to make for arriving visitors and keep the knowledge to themselves. I like that last. With this knowledge in hand, the ingredients are shuffled and 5 cards are dealt to each chef. The remaining 6 cards placed face up on the table, 2 rows of 3. That's a larder. Over 5 rounds, you take turns to place a card from their hand down and bluff about the type of card it is. It's pastry, it's a sweet, savory, or sauce. Using the cards in their hand and placed on the table, in the larder, the chef must attempt to work out if the player is telling the truth. They do not know what's in the other chef's hands. It is only ever a best guess. If they get it right, they gain a bluff point, which they record on their bluff point card, and then they have the choice of picking up the card on the table or taking one at random from the opposing chef's hand. After each round, the chef places a card from their hand into the ingredients of their own pile and spend bluff points to acquire ingredients from the larder that they need. Like, it seems like it would be so simple of you do know what the other player needs. You say, this is a Mountain Dew pie. I know you want that sweet Mountain Dew pie. Pay me 7 coins for it. And then bid for it. That's what I thought the game was going to be. Saying like, I'm bidding $5 on this. And then you can choose, yeah, you keep it for $5 or not. And then it gets paid to the general supplier, paid to the person as like a closed economy sort of thing. It's not this game whatsoever. It's just place a card face down and you say, it's a pastry. And then they go, yep. Or they go, nope. And then you buy more. Has potential here. It definitely has some potential, but I just don't. I think the potential is the game that I made up in my head instead. Okay, let's keep going to. We only have a few more left. Shifted. How long have we been doing? We've been doing this for. We've been doing this for hours. Shifted. The 27-card social deduction wallet game of shape-shifting, sabotage, and survival. It's like Avalon meets Among Us, but pocket-sized. Yes, very interested and excited about this. Let's go. That was the most insane video and video editing that I think I've ever seen in my entire life. Oh, Shifted. Come on. That's like someone who believes in every conspiracy theory would send a newsletter to their parents, would create a video of that. Oh, God. I was excited about this until I saw that. Gooper. The Shift the Void. Like, how... Oh, God. Tell me about your game. Okay. Oh, I guess for context, yeah, it was a video of just, like, the Dice Tower doing their crowd surfing thing and looking over. And it was, like, grainy, and they changed the voices, and they cut their comments together in a weird way. Wilt, what have you done to me? I can't believe you've done this. Oh, I can't believe you've done this. I think I'd rather play the Night Cage than ever look at a Pocketopia series of games ever again. That's what I think I would rather. It's actually really brightened my spirits because, man. All right. Shifted to the fast-paced, highly interactive social deduction wallet game where players take on the role of blue-collar space workers called Goopers, tasked with doing busy work around the ship. Yes, Among Us. However, one of them is the Shift, a shape-shifting alien bent on converting all life into its kind, and another is the Void, a nihilist who would rather see everything fail. I relate to one of those things. I think Pocketopia is the Shift and I am the Void. Each turn, job coordinator must complete a task by playing a poker-style hand. All right. However, each job requires help from the other ship members to complete the hand. One must decide who is genuinely working towards success, who is secretly manipulating the mission for their own win condition. The game ends when one of the 3 teams reaches their goal. Goopers win by successfully completing jobs. The shift wins by converting other players. The void claims victory when enough jobs have failed. Gipper, 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 void, shift, schmiff. 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 Void ship. Okay, I'm done. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Here are your job cards. Play 2 pair. Play 2 pair. Play a 4 card straight. Play a 4 cards. Okay. Here's the poker cards. Shifted, joker. Okay, I know I'm done. I don't know what's... I'd like to say that this made me lose my mind, but it was never there to begin with, to be fair. All players draw 2 cards from the poker deck. Job coordinator discusses which job to attempt, gathers 1 card from each of the 1 to 3 players, filling any gaps from the deck. Okay, if you have less people, then shuffles the 4 card hand unseen, you reveal the outcome to determine the job up. So you can say, listen, I'm going to put in a 2. I'm going to put in a 2. Let's all put in triangles. Let's all put in @ symbols. Oh, and if you put in a shift, you've been shifted. They shift the job coordinator. Win by completing jobs or exposing the shift. Win if too many jobs fail. Win by shifting over the other players. Only $14.99. All right, yeah, I'm interested. I think this has potential. You've always trying to work on a 18-card social deduction game. I should have a look at this one. Yeah, I'm intrigued. It seems like a fairly simple thing. Everybody's always going to be involved. Like any social deduction game, it'll essentially come down to nonsense. I think this one actually works-ish, you know? But for $15.99, you could also just buy Avalon. I think that's the key there, is that you could just buy Avalon, which is... But yeah, not too bad, not too bad. All right, we're moving on. Oh, this one's only $15. Good choice. Widgets Workshop. Drop-style game, 2 to 5 players. Widgets Workshop takes the imprecision of a spatial game and turns that imprecision into the very mechanisms that make the games possible. I'm expecting great things from this game. I'm expecting enormously great things. If this isn't the best game I've ever seen in my entire life, I'm going to lose it, and you'll be banned from the Discord. Okay, all right. Tell me, Widget, what you got for me? Throw everything on the table. Throw it all on the ground. Partially hidden cards is the game's secret sauce. Take face up or face down cards. Okay. All right, fine. This one does look good. You're lucky. You're lucky. You're on thin ice there. I like this. You need a pizza break. Oh, a million possible combinations. Now I can play it. Titrone. Oh, and it also spells the name. I always find these sorts of games to be exciting in terms of the visual combinations that can happen. You're just going to shift them all up and throw them on the ground, and then you'll pick up a card that you can see. You're going to be making patterns and scoring points for the symbols that you will end up showing as well. I remember Drop Drive looking interesting. They seem to be really working for big gravity, these people. I don't know. I always thought gravity was a bit of a myth, personally. I've never seen it. It's never spoken to me. So how do I know you exist? I've always thought big gravity, anyone who supports big gravity... Here's the thing about gravity, okay? How does gravity tell the difference between what is water and what is birds, all right? Tell me that. If gravity really exists, tell me that. How does gravity tell the difference? You know? You can't. Don't have an answer, do you? Yep. We live on a firmament. Oh, okay. You're going to throw them on the ground. Pull parts in the pile using 1 finger only. I like that too. So there's a bit of like a shifting mechanism. And then you shift other things out into the middle of the table. Yeah, this does seem cool. This is the best of the bunch. You're right. I'm happy to have gone through it just to have seen this, because for $15, it does seem like a fun idea. $15, again, the best deal currently. And then shipping will be $9.50. So it'll be $24.50. Or it'd be $19 plus 15, so it'd be $34. So it'd be, again, a $50 game for me, which I'm not interested in. But, like, this is definitely the most interesting out of all the stuff that we've seen, which wasn't very difficult considering most of it was hot garbage. This is the thing, though. Like, this is what I want to see. I would love for all these games to be of this quality. They are certainly not. They are more of the Hollywood Hunks quality, which, when you look at the people on that list, or the Bucky's Big Crushes quality, you know that the bar is very low. Very low. Bucky, listen, if you're watching, I gotta know. What can I do to make it higher on the list? That's all I'm wondering. Is Bucky, you gotta tell me, what do I need to do? I travel a lot, okay? What do I need to do, Bucky? Where are you? And how can I get higher on that list? How many sexual favors will it take, Bucky? I feel like it's gotta just be one, but maybe it's more. I'll go up to 32. That's my upper limit. 36. 40 maybe. And then you gotta come back. Bucky, let me know, Bucky. We're moving on. Cult Crafter, a cult building game for 2 to 4 players. Speaking of Bucky's big crushes, this project contains mature content and may not be suitable for all audiences. View this project. Yes, please. Give me some demon worshipping, baby. An easy to learn suit matching card game where players race to build up the most profitable demon worshipping cult. This is the theme of 20% of board games out there. I don't know why you had to put a disclaimer on it, but I guess we'll see. There's gotta be something. Oh, the disclaimer makes sense. It means, yeah, I want to be a cultist. Oh, that made me laugh. That was a good video. Rick Kitagawa, I think we might be friends. I don't see how this campaign needed a disclaimer. But Otter didn't? Did you know that otters eat their own young? Isn't the internet amazing? You can just say things. You can say whatever you want. And then people have to waste so much time and energy providing you with the reasoning that you're wrong. Otters eat their own young. Look it up. I have never not met an otter that has never not eaten. It's never happened. I've never, ever not seen an otter not gouge the eyeballs out of its young and not feed them to its mate in an elaborate mating ritual to produce more young for them to take the antlers from the young, the otter antlers. It's hidden right under the fur, right under the skin. The reason why otters hold hands is because they're actually trying to rip each other's hands off so that they can not have to eat their young, so that they're not as hungry as they normally are. And yet Otter doesn't need a disclaimer? Come on now. I need a disclaimer. Y'all must have you joined the Ruin Board Cult yet? Because you're still here. So I feel like, I don't know, something's got to be wrong with you. But I appreciate the company. Sometimes it gets lonely in a cult, I'll tell you. Players will choose a dark god to worship and will busy themselves with recruiting cultists to 3 different sects. I've heard about those cultist sects. I look forward to visiting that one day. There are also resort cards that are either permanent buffs, dark idols your cult worships in hordes, or events that shift and change the flow of the game. Finally, there are cultists that will provide you tribute, and the player with the most tribute wins the game. So there's 7 suits. Each sect has a spot for 1 Hierophant and multiple followers. You have to play Hierophant first, and they have different abilities depending upon which ones you either draw or draft cards from the various decks. Sure. How much are you? $30. Woof. Nah. Plus shipping, which I don't even know if they have shipping information on this one. Single should be around 5 to 7 if you're in the US, 25 to 35 if you're based somewhere else. I mean, it seems, I have no idea why there was a disclaimer on this one. There's some potential here. At least you have 3 decks to draw from. Doesn't really seem that exciting to me, though. We got 2 more, I guess, that we're looking at. This one being pawned, 72,000. This has got to be the biggest one of Pocketopia. Maybe we're gonna save that one for last, just because I expect great things. Here we're gonna look at this one first. Weird draft games. Rivers are flooding and the sloths are in need of rescue. Prove yourself by saving sloths in this drafting game. You'll be rewarded with even more sloths. Wow, what a great reward. Sloths are falling from the trees into the river. Okay, yeah, I like that in terms of it's got this art society thing where you're drafting cards, but you want to leave some cards in order to score more points. Because if you take all the cards for one thing, you have the longest run, but it won't be worth any points. So you get points from the leftover cards that were put out. So you want to leave the high cards there and take from there. You know what? I think that's a sound mechanism, and it's only $9. We should have saved this one for the end because this is the best. This is the best of Pocketopia right here, 100%. And Space Lions 2 is its crossover. You know what? Also one that was good, that looked good. All right, Pond, you're the last one. You're the last of the bunch, and then we've got So many, so many. Oh, I'm gonna be here for hours. I always am. All right, it's time to leap into the pond. Tell me how. Competitive deck builder. All right. Lead frogs across the map, competing for control in order to earn victory points. Cowboy frogs against the wizard frogs. You get a unique starting deck of cards. Cool. Okay. Oh, just took a little nap in my chair. All right. So we have Pond, which is an area-controlled deck builder. 80 wooden frog meeples. How much is this going to be? 35. Okay. Or the backer kit exclusive gets the meeples with the wooden meeples. Does not include wood pieces or art friend. What is the basic thing get us? God, backer kit's such a bad platform. Awful. Just think about how well this could have done if you'd just chosen any other platform. It's a very simple deck builder. You're going to use your cards to get more cards. You are also going to be competing over areas of the board so you can get crowns, so that you can get the special cards, the hero cards, that can be recruited into your game. Well, Backer Kit has a no AI art policy. As a lover of art, watching industry giants unapologetically embracing AI art and veteran designers defend their use of AI art makes me incredibly frustrated. Although I've already ran 8 successful Kickstarter campaigns, I want to believe in Backer Kit's promise and throw my support behind a platform that stands behind artists. I mean, that's good, yeah, I guess. So what do you get with the base game? Just tokens? Yeah, little long fwog tiles and small fwog tokens. Yeah, that's pretty nice. And 3 custom dice. You'll be competing for control over these pawns. You want to earn crowns by having control over 3 of them or murdering the other frogs in your deck. So you can go for a sort of action economy build, or you can go for an attacking build, I assume. I like the idea of these super strong cards. It's always great to get these super strong cards into your deck. These meeples, I think, are very cute and sort of could earn their additional $25 uptick in cost, right? I feel like everybody must be getting them. I don't know why they're partnering with Forest Floor. That's a bad sign. Just had to partner with something, I guess. It's probably the only way Forest Floor has gotten any backers is just overflow from here. Shouldn't do that. Oh, a 40 pack of small frogs. Yeah. $15. Perfect for crafting, not for snacking. Yeah, it was a great video too to explain how the game is played for sure. Timeline and shipping, giving themselves a longer timeline. Nice. React. I don't really remember this game. That's interesting. Did I not cover this? November 2022. I don't really remember it. Maybe I didn't cover it. Doesn't seem like I covered it. Not sure why. Shipping, $12 to ship to the US, $22 for Canada and Mexico. Again, so if I wanted this with the frog meeples, which I understand why you would, it would still be $88 US, so $120 just for that. Doesn't seem worth it. Even the base one would be $57 US, so like 90 Canadian. Again, not really something I'm particularly interested in. I think it'll be a fine game, though. I think it is a cute theme. I like the balance of the area control and the deck building aspect, so yeah, I can see why it's done well. All of those finish on April 3rd. Now we are out of Backer Kit hell and on to the regularly scheduled crowdfunding countdown. Was it worth it? Probably not. Let's be real. The ones that were good, well, we'll recover them in the countdown. Hercules and 12 Labors, yeah. Space Lions 2 was potentially worth it. Bolted is interesting, but I think it'll get stale pretty quickly. The Foxy Deck looks cute. Maybe shifted. Widgets Workshop was one of the best ones. Surplus of Sloths, honestly, one of the best ones. Maybe it was worth it. There's enough in there to kind of parse through. Maybe it was worth it. Next up, we have Watch Wrestling Get Drunk, the live pro wrestling drinking game, our 6th game in the Get Drunk line of live drinking games. The 6th one, really, I only thought there was Watch Hockey Get Drunk. I really thought that was it, and that's surprising. I remember this also being over on GameFound, and it's interesting that they've moved back to Kickstarter as well. There we go, the TikTok. This amazing drinking game, this amazing board game, this amazing TikTok. Yes, if you want to drink in excess, well, you can. I think it's honestly a great format. You have a secret code, a secret task. This one was if a wrestler takes off some clothing, you can pass out a drink. If some people can guess what your rule is, they can win. It's a game within a game for the multitasking world, because you can't just watch wrestling and have fun. No, you have to be absorbed with these only 3 things in front of you and handing out liquor to make it a better time. How much is it? $25. You know if you're the target audience for that or not. I think it's a real success story of these people who had this idea. People love to drink. And who needs a reason? Now you have 5 of them, 6 of them. So if you're interested in that, it finishes Wednesday, April 2nd at 12 p.m. Actually, I have 178 reasons for you to drink, and that's every episode of Crowdfunding Countdown. You want to get really wasted? Take a drink every time I say cool. Or neat. Or too much shipping. All right, let's look at this one. Carrot Boom, the explosively fun card game. This sounds like it belongs in Pocketopia. Watch out for the rabbit trying to steal your carrots, and good luck defusing the bomb before it's too late. Okay. Some cards give you carrots. Some cards give you bombs. Okay, no, they got it. They got a jingle. Play it smart. Now, was this song created with AI? And Kick is at... Oh, no, he'll be outclassed. Okay, it's different lyric. This is the radio edit. The game is all chance, but stay in the fight. You might make it right. If the rabbit throws a bomb, don't wait. Just wait, sit and wait. Diffuse it fast and seal your fate. I'm a Juno nominee. That's true. I think board gaming crowdfunding is dead. Take back your carrots and kick your... Damn it, that's the radio edit. Okay, Carrot Boom. It's a classic reimagined. It's a game of pure luck. No complicated rules, no master strategies. Hey, call it what it is. Just explosive fun. Be the last player with at least one active harvest card. You have 2 turns. Players take turn to flip an action card, follow the instructions on the card. When the smack card is drawn, be the first to smack the carrots pile and win all the carrots from the rabbit's hole. Yeah, smack that hole. No, that's not what I meant. If you draw a carrot bomb card, you will lose unless you defuse it with some scissors. It's $16. At least it's found its market. That finishes Wednesday, April 2nd at 12:21. Oh, thank God, Ivy Studios. Oh, thank God you're here this week. Oh, Ivy Studios. Oh, I've missed you. Oh, we're coming back. Oh, God, Ivy Studios. Oh, thank God you're here. Oh, baby. Okay, we've got Scales of Fate, a two-player strategic deduction board game. I missed playing this at Level Up. I'm regretting that I missed playing it at Level Up because then I'd be able to have a more exciting opinion. This is a 2-player lane battling version of Veiled Fate. The idea of Veiled Fate is that you have a secret color that you want to have the most points, but everything can win. I think Veiled Fate works really well as a 2-player game on its own already, so this is going to have to really shake itself up in this dual trend to make it worthwhile. But I'm excited. I'm excited to look at it. I'm excited to look at it. I'm excited to say, ooh, premium, yucky, too much for me. And then say, but I love Ivy Studios. Mwah, 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 mwah. So if you wanted to skip this section, that's probably what will happen. But you never know. Never know. You get 2 demigods in this game. Okay. Oh, there's 2 games. Okay. So Veiled Fate and then Pillars of Fate. Got it. I thought the Veiled Fate, Scales of Fate was the lane batter, but Scales of Fate is just Veiled Fate for 2 players, and then Pillars of Fate is lane batter. Oh, I love that they just throw in deluxe. They're like, listen, they got beautiful bags. Wait, what are the bags for? Oh, you can just put the meeples in them when you're not playing. No gameplay. No gameplay. Oh, too much premium, not for me. I think people love numbers on their boxes. Having the TCGs do it, right? To have numbered cards. So yeah, of course, why wouldn't Ivy Studios do it? Pillars of Fate at Gen Con. Wow, that's coming quick. But just for Pillars of Fate. All right, so we got two things to look at. Thank God. I'm excited for both of them. I'm not a huge lane battler fan. The twists of the lane battling don't sound that interesting to me for this one, but I do like the idea of a 2-player Scales of Fate. And I do love that they're doing a non-deluxe version for little babies like me who are always poor and don't want the metallic paint that these 1,200 backers are doing. They're hooking up the 177 people that I understand it in the economy of scale doesn't really matter. It's okay to leave these people behind because you probably make more money on the deluxe than the super deluxe. I understand, but I still appreciate it. 2-player deduction duel. You'll also get to eliminate and get new knowledge from the demigods. And you only have 2 demigods. You have 2 demigods, and you're going to get clues to demigods that aren't available. It feels like a lot of information. Yeah, I'm bummed. I wish I played this at Level Up, but what did I play even instead? Oh, I played Mind Management instead, too. Ugh. Because it went on so long, and then Austin was packed up, so I couldn't play it. What a disappointment. What a bad deduction game to have missed out on probably a really good deduction game. So disappointing. But, whatever. It was good to play it. Good to solidify my opinions. Okay, Scales of Fate, how to play. You get 2 secret demigods instead of 1, like Veiled Fate. On your turn, you'll place a demigod to trigger powerful abilities Position servants to activate quests or unleash game-changing god powers at the cost of precious victory points. So again, like very, very Veiled Fate-esque. Unveil clues each age. At the end of each age, you'll gain information about your opponent's demigods based upon the age card. Sure. And then endgame scoring. You have 2 paths to victory. I do like this. You can score the difference between your demigods. You can keep one low and one high. Or if you can land both of your demis on the same square, you score the square. And I feel like that's a lot harder, but if you can do it, very exciting. And so keeping things on the same square to psych out your opponents could feel very fun. Like that's where the fun aspect is. Guess your opponents. And in the final moments, you have the opportunity to lock in your final guess at your opponent's identity. Guess both correctly for an additional 3 points. Oh, guess both incorrectly and lose a point. I really like that as well. Yeah, that seems nice. They don't. Oh, they do have a rule book. Nice. I've never been that thrilled with Ivy Studios rulebooks. Well, no, that's not true. I've never been that thrilled with Veiled Fate's rulebook specifically. I think Veiled Fate rulebook is really annoying. Come on. Load for me. I find Veiled Fate's rulebook to be very annoying because they have like a whole page of nonsense. And then they'll say, oh, and this is actually the reason why. Like for their first player determination, they're like, okay, everybody shuffle the fate cards and then deal out a number of fate cards to people. And then whoever has the most feathers is the first player. I'm like, no, just pick a random first player. But it's in the setup and it's in an order that if you're following it in the order at which it's, put forward. Anyway, it gets it. Scales of Fate rulebook. I want to see what the actions are and how you move people around. That's what I'm curious. So place a quest token. D, these are your quest tokens. They will create board, the grid. Okay, here are the actions you can take on your turn after you've made the board. You place a demigod. Select any demigod off the board. Place it on any open action tile. Immediately take that action. That makes sense. Place a servant. If you have a servant, these are servant tiles, you can place it on the outer edge and immediately score the demigod targeted by the servant. Use a god power, take any of the 3 available god power tokens and immediately perform its action. Put people in the abyss, decide upon the fate of people in the abyss. Some servants. Placing servants is the primary way to influence a demigod's renown. When performing a servant action, to take a servant token that you've collected earlier in the age and place it on the available space on the outer edge. Oh, cool. So you're really trying to chain this placement is going to matter a lot. They can target an entire row or column of that symbol. So if you've placed a demigod on a spot that interacts with feathers, and then you drop a servant that interacts with feathers, you're going to get that reward again down the line. Interesting. So there's no real bluffing aspect of I'm putting in cards. I'm not. You're just putting a demigod and you're adjusting their renown, essentially. I drop a demigod here. I move them up or down 1 space, 2 spaces. And the order matters because you're choosing to put demigods out one at a time or throwing them in the abyss, which can give all the demigods there who have been smited. And then you will give information about where your demigods are based upon the round. So it'll be, hey, are they at this section of the board? Are they at X number of renown? Sure. I really like this. Guessing your opponent gets you more points. I really like that aspect of it. That is probably the thing that gets me the most excited about it. And I do like this too, the penalty for the god powers. So you lose a point for every god power you've used. The fact that all these god powers are available to you can switch it around, but it's going to cost you points at the end of the game. Take an unused servant token from your opponent. You can use it now or in a future age. Woof. Yeah, that's worth a point for sure. The servant seems so powerful. I see, and the action spaces aren't going to get you the renown. The only way that you trigger these specific action spaces that are dealt out are through the servants, and then you do the things where you put your people on the actions. Is there a list of what the action cards do? What do the action spaces do? Immediately take that action. These are the action types. Okay, I thought these were on the god cards, but these are the actions. Smite, move the abyss marker, take the different types of servants. So yeah, remove people from the board, influence the people who are off the board, or take the servants, which can then trigger the scoring conditions. So you may not want to put a specific demigod in a spot that can really tank their score, or you might want. Yeah, okay, great. I think this would definitely be fun. I can see the deduction reasonings. It's enough of a shift from Veiled Fate. I like that it is potentially pretty quick as well. I think it'll hold up. And 39 is nice for Ivy Studios. For the cheapy boys like me, it's still 56, and then shipping to Canada is probably horrid, right? Canada 18, it's not as horrid as I would expect. 50% of the cost of the game. About $85 if I wanted to get this, plus tax, so 90. But yeah, really interesting. Since I have Veiled Fate, and I enjoy Veiled Fate at 2 players, I'm not aching to get it. but I can see it being different enough, truly, that you could warrant having both. And then there's Pillars of Fate for only $20 for this lane battler, because it's just card play. You're going to be playing 3 cards in 3 lanes, and you put 1 card down, face down. And if you win it, you're going to win the points, but you can also manipulate the points so that you lose points as well. Each quest has 2 possible results: a Feather Scorpion or a Scorpion, that are determined by the suits of the cards played in that lane. So if you play a bunch of feathers, you're going to get the positive points. Play a bunch of Scorpions, you're going to get the negative points on this example right here. And so because I put some cards face down, you don't know if I've contributed feathers and feathers or a bunch of Scorpions, right? So the highest number is going to get whatever the reward is, and so you might end up taking negative points when you don't want. Each player also has 3 divine heroes drawn from a deck of 20 at the start of the game. Each age 1 must be played by both players. They're powerful abilities that can bend a lane to their will. Most points over 3 ages win. Yeah, honestly, I'm not a huge lane battler fan, but it might be intriguing me more now than even Scales. I thought that the 1 card face down would feel gimmicky and like not enough information, but because the information is tied into the suits, I don't know, because you have 2 options, right? You can have your feathers showing, your 2 feathers, your 1 feather, and you can say, yeah, listen, I'm really going for feathers, I want to win this. And they can be high numbers, and you can be trying to bait your opponent into playing super high numbers and then switch it with like a 4 Scorpions, you know? Or you can be going all in for feathers, and I don't know if there's a way to determine how that would work. I like the concept of these big, strong characters that you're going to get to use each time. That does sound interesting to me, right? You have the power value, and then we have the suit icon. Each lane can hold up to 3 cards, unless otherwise stated. Does everybody have the same deck? 20 quest cards. So we're all drawing from the... 20 divine cards. 64 champion cards. Okay. Takes 1 of the champion decks. Great. So everybody has the same deck. I like that you can potentially card count. Yeah, and you have to play 3 cards into every lane too. So if you have a low hand, that allows you to really manipulate the whatever lane. Yeah, I like that. I like it for 20. I really do like it for 20. That feels really nice. 2 solid games. You can get the Kickstarter Deluxe and Pillars of Fate to both of them for $79 if you're interested. As shipping we already talked about. Schedule delivers to backers 2025, but you can get Scales of Fate or Pillars of Fate at Gen Con as well. So if you're interested, the finishes Wednesday, April 2nd at 5 p.m. Both definitely seem like really solid fare. I like Ivy Studios, and you know what? I didn't even say wah too much premium because they gave me the options. So that's a real win in my book, for sure. All right, we're moving on. I don't know what these are. I just thought the titles seemed cool. Phoenix Reborn, heat-sensitive playing cards. Alchemist Assemble, heat it up and summon the great Phoenix Reborn. Like, this has raised a crap load of money. It feels like a gimmick, but a fun gimmick. They change with heat. So it's just like a full foiled burning and charred card, silver foil ash card. I want to know how it works. It's just like a standard deck of cards. This tuck goes far beyond of a simple tuck. And who said I wasn't throwing into Drag Race references enough? Oh, I'm not up to date. But this would be a perfect time for it. This is a big meaty tuck, is what it sounds like. It's a heat-sensitive tuck. It's a flaming tuck. Is that a hate crime? Is that a hate crime? Feels like a hate crime. I think it's just design. I want to be able to put a lighter under my cards. I want these cards to change color after I put them in a fire. Rub your hands, heat the deck up, collect the number cards to unlock the hidden message from Phoenix. It's like a treasure hunt, rebirth magic awaiting for you. I'm sorry, what? $83? Oh, 1 set of Phoenix Rebirth heat-sensitive deck for $33 Canadian. Sure. I mean, I thought it looked interesting enough to mention. I guess that's the way to do it, is have a separate little puzzle associated with it so that you can just play with the regular deck of cards, have them change. Them changing really obscures what card it is, which also, you know, might be fun for people. I don't know. The finish is Thursday, April 3rd at 8:15 a.m. Next up, we're not talking about this one because, of course, it does the $1 pre-pledge. That is Artistry. If you didn't know that Duxomnium Games always do this, well, they always do this. I thought Botany looked particularly bad, and then when the game started getting reviewed, everybody realized that I was right. And if they just read the rulebook beforehand, they could have avoided it. So even if you are getting these things, don't be sucked in by the art. Be sucked in by the gameplay, which, who knows if there is any or not. I'm inclined to believe not, just based around just how horrid mechanically Botany was, but there you go. Oh, there's another thing on the $1 pre-pledge. Mythwind, Open Owl Studios, creators of Mythwind, had a $1 going around. And then some people emailed them and they're like, yo, why do you have a $1? You said you aren't going to do that anymore. They're like, yeah, we're not going to do it. I'm like, okay, well then what is this page that you're signing up for? They're like, we don't know why that page is exists. And so it got taken down. So there's a few things behind that. Either it was, I guess we'll go back to this to talk about it. Either it was just Launch Boom that they were working with decided to just keep going with their standard playbook and enact it without the consent of the creators. Fantastic. Yeah, classic. I would believe that. Number two would be that it wasn't their campaign whatsoever, and it's somebody just collecting credit cards. Oh, just collect credit card numbers. Where did those $1 go? Who knows? It would be the easiest scam in the world is you make a page because you don't need to provide any information. That's the key to the $1 pre-pledge is you don't provide any information about the game. Just say, listen, it's going to be really good. It's going to be the best game ever. It's going to be amazing. You're going to get exclusives. Exclusives. Don't you like exclusive things? You're going to have something that nobody else does. That's going to make you feel like a big man, doesn't it? No, what makes me feel like a big man is shouting at people on the internet, I guess. Okay, let's move on to something that is much better than Artistry. It is Habemus Papam. Immerse yourself in the high-stakes drama of Habemus Papam. As a leader of the Cardinal faction, you'll navigate the intricate web of traditions, intrigue, and ambition to sway the papal election. This is great. I just watched Conclave. I know how this works. Champion a candidate who reflects your faction's ideals, faith, age, origin, and personality, while secretly advancing your hidden agenda. Will you secure your place in history or see your plans unraveled in this game of strategy and deception? Yeah. Conclave, when you think about it, it was a friggin' wild movie just going in behind like how the new pope is chosen. Oh, salt and pepper. Okay, that makes me instantly more interested. Definitely, I'm not just blowing smoke when I say it's better than Artistry. I can pretty much guarantee it. Actually, crowdfunding retrospective wise, whenever I come back to it in 3-4 years, if I do, I bet Chris of the past real money that this will be rated higher than Artistry. I'd bet anybody any amount of money, and I only make bets that I will win. To be clear, that's how confident I am because I'm willing to make a bet about it. Okay, let's get your papal candidate up. Will your candidate respect human rights? Or will they take you back to the Dark Ages? I don't know. I guess we're going to find out. Will your candidate push the slavery agenda in the Bible? Maybe they will. Will your candidate outlaw shellfish? Don't forget that one. Let's go back to the written word. Don't worry, Mark retconned it. You can eat your lobster. You're fine, right? As long as there's a retcon in there. But if there's another retcon, well, we'll ignore the other retcons. But some will accept and some will ignore. 9 secret objective cards. Great. I think this is a great theme. I'm so into it. Yes, GameFound exclusive, the Antichrist card. Let's go. Okay, I'm sorry. If I can try to nominate the Antichrist to be the next pope, that is the funniest thing to me. I highly recommend this game to those who can approach the theme with a sense of humor and an open mind, because if you do, you're in for an amazing time. What a great review and soundbite. All right, I need to know how to play it because I'm sold. Okay, you represent a group of cardinals who strive to have their candidate elected as the new supreme pontiff. You have a personal and secret objective. Over 5 rounds, you'll compete to ensure the preferred candidate accumulates the most influence and is elected. During your turn, you have to choose the following actions. Place influence tokens on candidates. Candidates, like public objective cards, have a set of 4 characteristics. Maybe you want to place influence on a candidate with characteristics that match your public objective. Or maybe your secret objective rewards you for something entirely different. Keep your opponents guessing. You start each round with a hand of 4 cards. Play a card, you pay the cost. You can pay in influence tokens or by discarding other cards from your hand. So that's interesting. You can pay in influence tokens, which will decrease the amount of influence you can put out onto the main board, but it will allow you to do things with your card. You can offer influence points in exchange for cards, favors, or whatever you can think of. Just keep in mind, in one thing, deals are not binding. That's my favorite type of deal game, when the threat of a non-binding deal is there. I always honor my deals. I really do. I don't think that there's a game where I've really ever not honored the deal, unless somebody else went back on it first, you know? And then I mean, what can I do? If I make a deal and I say I'm going to stick to it, I stick to it because I know it's a good deal for both of us. And because if you don't honor your deal once, you're dead in the water. Nobody will ever trust you again, right? However, I do love that idea of that deals are never binding. And so coup is one of those games where deals are never binding. And that is where you'll say so many things like, listen, you coup that person, I'll coup that person, they coup them, and then you coup them right back. That's a very fun aspect of coup and a core part to it. Once the round is over, check if a pope was elected. You need 2/3 of the total influence placed on candidates to be elected pope. I must have enjoyed Conclave more than I thought I did, because I thought it was just fine. I watched it on a plane to Dice Tower West. And now that there's this game and this theme, I'm like, man, I'm so glad I watched Conclave because I like understand the system so much more. Game is over at the 5th round. I'm really into this. It's very simple. You have 4 categories, 4 tags that you're trying to ram your Pope into. Oh, and this is great. Each player places one of their marker of their color on the candidates who share at least 3 characteristics with their public objective. Because then you don't have to always be double checking. That's a really smart setup thing. That shows that they've considered the gameplay flow. My parents gave me a necklace of St. Christopher that they got at the Vatican once upon a time. And I really liked that necklace. And then I lost it in a locker somewhere. And ever since then, I haven't carried any babies on my back across a river. Used to happen to me all the time. I wonder if there's any correlation. I love this too because there's the possibility of you being like, hey, you want to get this Pope elected? Let's put all of our influence tokens on the Pope. You need 2/3 majority. Okay, cool. So there's 8 possible ideas, and so it's either like progressive or conservative, young or old. Cool. That's an easy way to break down what you like. And then there's an additional like sect that they're part of. You know, I take it back though, just because there's religion involved, people are liable to rate this a 1 for any reason. If they're like, it doesn't agree with my religion, get religion out of games and back into schools where it belongs, back into government policy. It's where it has its rightful place. Oh, not your religion. Different one. That one, no, yuck. Can't put that. No government policy for that one. My religion? Yeah. Let's do that one. Doesn't that seem unfair? Nope. Not if you're part of my religion, it doesn't. And everybody should be, or they'll burn for all eternity. My God's a loving God. God is love, and all who live in love live in God. Da 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 da. Da, 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 da. Live in the love of the Lord. I'm sorry. Okay. You must choose one of the 3 actions. Place influence tokens. You can just put 1 influence token down. Play an action card. Play a card. Pass. You can pass. The round ends when 3 players pass consecutively in games with 4 players. Ooh, cool. So you don't all have to pass consecutively as well. So there's a real danger of waiting it out. Otherwise, that's a great... Because as soon as they said you can place as many influence tokens as you want, I'm like, okay, I'll place 1 down. Everybody else can place a bunch of stuff down, I'll put 1 down. But if everyone's moving quicker than you, you're going to be stuck without action. So I really like that pace that I can put upon there. That's a very good add. Interesting. And then you put the Pope hat on somebody who's going to have... So the downfall here might be that you're constantly adding up stuff, adding up influence tokens. With 8 offers, it may not work out. Conclave must have really stuck with me. It must have, because I'm like really hyped about this theme in a way I did not expect to be. I feel like it could be pretty fiddly. There is the option, like you have to compare the person who has the highest influence in one category, then you compare with the lowest influence in a category, and then you get that score based upon that category. Because this guy has 5 influence and he's old, and this guy has 2 influence and he's young, I think. Senix, Evenis, is that it? Was it old and young for green? Yeah, old and young. And so the olds get 3 points. The candidate with the least influence is eliminated in each round. In the event of a draw, the Carmalengo chooses the candidate who will be eliminated. So you have to always back your candidates too and show your hand a little bit. I think this looks very fun. And then you get some influence tokens as well. I love it. I love it. What's shipping? Come on, give me good shipping. Oh, come on, give me good shipping, I said. It's €22, and that's €20 to ship to Canada. So it'd be like $60, almost $70 for this game. I don't know if I can justify that. But if I see it at retail, this might be a retail download. Get exclusive content. Ooh, what's the exclusive content? What are the stretch goals? Oh, right, you do get the Antichrist. What's the goal? For each characteristic on your public objective that does not coincide with Francis Thorne's characteristic, set the religious order. I don't know, yeah. The Antichrist is funny. It's very funny. And the Popess, I don't know if I like that as a scoring mechanism, though. You get 10 points for each one because you haven't nominated the Antichrist. No, I want to nominate the Antichrist as the secret objective. Secret Objective doesn't jump out to me enough to warrant buying it. Anyway, that finishes on the 3rd at 10 a.m. We got to keep on moving onward. Oh, speaking of which, we have Onward, the MOBA board game. Onward is a competitive board game for 2 to 4 players, distilling the strategy and thrill of MOBA video games like Dota 2 and League of Legends into a streamlined 1-hour board game, without the flames or toxic lobbies that come with MOBAs. As the spiritual sequel to our hit 2020 release Skytear, the design Onward is based on feedback from over 10,000 players. Yeah, I liked Skytear. I like Skytear Horde. So Skytear was the tabletop game. Got it. I was thinking, oh, it's going to be Skytear Horde, and I was like, oh, I probably understand how to play this already. But it is Skytear, which is different. Exclusive, no retail for those expansions. That's fine. Standee version, love that. Here we are. We're getting good games finally. All of our games were delivered in 11 months or less. Cool. Draft from 32 heroes. Colors help you frame heroes on the fly. Just pick one of each color for a well-rounded team. Great! Card-driven gameplay. Each hero brings 6 unique cards that can be used in 3 ways. Minions, Towers, Nexus. These 3 units deliver a true MOBA feeling, making Onward not just another arena game. Destroy the enemy Nexus to win the game. Minions push onward if they have the majority. Towers are your last line of defense. Okay. Gold and items. Enter the jungles to slay monsters and earn gold. And buy items. Colors help you frame items at a glance. No PhD needed. Yeah. Great. We get it. You have a nice color system. And I'm into it. Just Onward. It's €40. 63 Canadian. Yeah, I like it. The outsider in the river is a challenge to fight, but grants a game-breaking boon if you last hit it. See Section 3 for full rulebook and tutorials. So the full game is available for free in Tabletop Simulator. The entry level has only standees. Miniatures are unpainted, but you can get your minis if you wanted. I like standees, baby. Standees are great. I hope other people are going for the standees as well. Nope, 65 times versus 307. Oh, that's all gameplay. And then for gameplay and miniatures, 131. And then all in for Skytear players, 127. That's nice. If you already have Skytear, you can use it in conjunction. All gameplay and all miniatures, 161. All in, 326. Yeah. So again, nobody but me cares about standees. And the thing is that I'm too cheap to get everything. But I'm very excited that it's there for people who are on a budget. And that's makes me really happy that companies care about it. Gameplay details. Download the rulebook. Yeah, let's do it. I think the key to these games, for me to be personally interested, is that idea of ease of play. You want something where you don't need to learn an entire system in order to play it. You want something that has this accessible color scheme to it, that you can just divvy out some cards. You can say, okay, I'll try this build, throw it down, have some fun. Like those are the game experiences that I'm looking for out of something like this. I'm not interested in sinking all of my time into a war game, and learning a system. I'm interested in the modularity that like the skirmish games can provide. And I'm hopeful that this is going to do that. There's 5 cards for a hero. You're going to shuffle that together for all your 4 heroes. You draw 2 cards into your hand. And if you're playing with 3 or 4, you're playing as a team. It's not a free-for-all. It's 2 versus 1 for the first team that destroys the enemy Nexus wins. To damage and destroy it. Siege it with your minions, attack it with your heroes, cast spells, target it. In any case, you must first destroy the enemy towers that are blocking your access to the enemy's Nexus, but you kill them in the same way. Each round, up to 2 heroes, 1 from each team, take their turn. You'll shop and plan, then the fastest one will go, then there'll be some minions in the jungling phase, and the slowest one will go. Slower definitely means that you will have better strength, though. Okay, so the cards that you've shuffled into your deck just will determine the amount of movement points and the amount of action points that you can use for a particular hero. And I'd like you only have access to 2, so you have 4 heroes, but you may not have the chance to activate them on your turn, and that'll make an easy decision to make. You do reveal the cards simultaneously, so you can determine who's the quickest. So then you will see how many attacks your opponents will have, and you can move people out of range to make it useless. Melee attacks only in your own area, and then ranged only in adjacent areas. So there are restrictions for both, which is great. Because usually ranged are just generally better. They can hit wherever they want, but you still will have movement that needs to happen. To resolve an attack, reveal and discard the top card of your deck to determine the attack card. There's a bit of a Universus deck building aspect here, too, where you're going to want to choose heroes that have high numbers and then not activate those heroes because you know that when you attack, you'll figure out the strength of the. I really like that as some fun potential of building your characters and how they synergize or don't synergize with each other. or keeping track of what cards are in your deck. You can also use the cards as like spells too. So you use one to determine your initiative, and then they all do various things. Cool. Okay. I'm not sure how I feel about this minion phase. You'll have a bunch of minions that will push towards the towers and the horde, and they're constantly pushing people back. You're building up these minions, so it's not just about the heroes. You have this relentless horde that's pushing forward. I guess it could be fun. That you then have to balance out and try to take out your opponent's minions, etc. Seems good. Definitely seems good. The base game is 40 euros. So 40 euros is the base game. That's the standee edition. Or you can get an all gameplay standee edition. Okay, for 307 times. That one was pledged a lot. In fact, 307 might be more than, yeah, it's closer than like the all-in gives you everything that you want, but you can just get a standee gameplay with all the 3 expansions and 90 euro. That's great. 142 Canadian, 63 Canadian, and then shipping is going to be shipping in December, 15 euro to the EU, UK, US 25, Canada 33. So again, it'd be about $100 for me to get this game in the standee version. I think it could definitely be fun. I think it would be a game that I would enjoy playing. I don't know if it is my particular style of game, even though there's area control and asymmetric abilities. I think I could quite enjoy it, but I'm not quite willing to take a risk, not a risk on it, but it's not something that I need in my collection right now. It's not getting me so excited that I need to purchase it, but it's one of those games where if somebody brought it to a game night, I'd be like, yeah, for sure. Definitely try it out, right? I don't see much wrong with it, and there's some things to get excited about for sure. So if you're interested in that, it finishes on the 3rd at 11 a.m. The only thing that I can't conceptualize as well is the minion push. But yeah, and this is also definitely a 2-player game. I wouldn't want to play this at 3 or 4 in this team battle. I would just want to play it as that head-to-head style. Okay, moving along, back to some trash. We have Chess à Tete. Maybe not, I hope it's good. The chess-inspired card game. This is not chess as you know it, because your chess has pieces, and this chess has cards. Yeah, okay, it doesn't seem as horrible as I thought it would be. I think this actually seems thought out, and I thought it would be one thing that doesn't seem thought out. The base pledge is £20, which is $40 Canadian, $38 Canadian. You will get your king, and then you draw 7 cards, and you'll throw these cards down, and they'll either be pieces, or there will be attack cards which look like they depend on you having the correct pieces that are out there. You can swap out pawns and action cards with these expansion packs. So there's some deck construction, not really deck building, but deck construction. You can go to their website to get the downloadable game guide. Let's see if they've got it. How easy is it to find it? Download instructions, yeah. It doesn't seem that interesting to me, though. You'll be really held into place by the number of pieces that you have drawn of a particular type, which will correspond to certain actions. It'll really be how do these pieces come out of your deck. It doesn't seem to be much strategy other than holding on to your reaction cards in a way that will give you the edge at an opportune time. Shipping to the EU is £4, UK £4, EU £6, and everybody else £10. So for me, it would be like $60 to get this little card game. A neat concept, but not one that gets me excited whatsoever. That finishes April 3rd at 10:59 a.m. Moving along, we're going to keep on going to Engine Thieves, an action-packed card-driven experience for 1 to 2 players where you'll lead or try to crush something in the historic Andrews Railroad raid of 1862. Actually, I don't know if I am going to be looking at this because it's Compass games, and generally Compass games have too much information for me to consume. They do have the rulebook right there. Okay, let's take a little look. I want to cut myself a break, but it's not like their standard war game. Let's take a look. Let's watch the video. Main design is a solo game, comes with a 2-player option. That's an important thing. Okay, that video was just showing the components, but it was nice, you know, told us that it was a solo game. Oh, Brother Smurf always do a great, quick explanation. And you're fighting the Confederates, so that's always a positive. It's always nice to be against the slavers, right? The Confederates were the slavers, right? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that seems kind of fun. I'm glad I looked into it. It's a great video if you want to get a sense of it. You should watch it on the campaign page. Just skip to that one. The whole shebang is you're on a train, you're trying to make your way up these tracks and sabotage things along the way. Along the way, you can reveal enemies who will attack you and murder your own crew. And you don't want that to happen because you want your crew to live, as a good general should. That finishes Thursday, April 3rd at 11:24 a.m. Moving along, we've got this one, Stormweaver's Stronghold. It's a relaunch. It's a story-driven tabletop game. So we're going to check out what sort of stories you can expect. A scratch-off map, that's fun. And then you just read a big old passage of story. Oh, and then there are actual fights that you can do too. Look at that. That's surprising to me. I really do like the die health system, although those standees are probably going to be expensive. This seems like Temu Oathsworn. 3 scratch-off maps. The scratch-off maps seem pretty fun. It's going to be €55 where you get your cardboard pawns in them. €95 gives you the organic glass minis, 15 health tracker dice. So you don't even get the dice in the core edition. Oof. Well, I guess you don't need them, right? Because cardboard pawns, you can just track it the old-fashioned way. That makes sense. Each player has a hand containing 5 cards. The card level determines the effectiveness of trials, while the action described on the cards and the power of the attack, defense, and movement are used in combat. And then everything has a cooldown, so it will cost you 3 turns or 4 turns before you can pick the card back up. That's why it reminded me of Oathsworn as well, especially with the heavy passages of story. 55.86 for the idea of a scratch-off map, the storytelling, the card actions. Yeah, I like a good cooldown aspect. Simple card play in terms of deals X amount of damage, moves. Doesn't seem overly complex as well. So if you wanted a game kind of like that with some unique standees, yeah, it seems neat. I'm happy that it is funded. It's not something that I would necessarily take a risk on personally, but I'm happy to see that it's funded, and I hope the story's good. That finishes Thursday, April 3rd at 11:59 a.m. Moving along to this one, Advanced Persistent Threat, an awesome cybersecurity and hacking-themed card game where you defend your network and hack your friends, just like anyone who plays me on Fortnite. They're hackers! Well, this is not going to tell me anything, right? Array of cards to play, look through your network, malware. Oh, collect 6 servers to win. Sure. The greatest hacking game I've ever played. Finance CISO. Hollow foil cards. Everybody loves that. Use software, malware, exploits, and days to defend your network. So you're drawing from a common deck, a la Radlands. You'll have cards that are constantly giving you effects. Okay, so you're going to want to put servers down, and then you're going to put positive things down, and people are going to put malware on yours. And then you can steal things. Again, it's another game of our standard play cards to slow people down. Uninstall or delete a malware card, right? Like if you're into the theme, sure. But again, it's a very standard card game with a fancy coat of paint. Play a number of cards in front of you and attack the cards of other people. You're going to be drawing those from a communal deck. They're all going to have random effects on. These types of games don't interest me whatsoever, and I think that modern board gaming design has moved beyond them, and people keep making them because they feel like they'll do well in the Unstable Unicorns type of game, and it's fair. Like, it's more mass market. It's definitely not more niche, but for somebody who is more niche, it's not interesting to me. That finishes Thursday, April 3rd at 12:22 p.m. Moving along to Northgard, Uncharted Horizon, the expansion. Expand your experience for the original Viking 4X board game with new game modes, including solo play, new clans, new creatures, and more. Yeah, I thought, oh, this was Hachette Games, I thought, but now it's not. Now it's Open Sesame Games. There you go. There's a new French-American publisher of role-playing a board game. Oh, they did the Cyclades Legendary Edition. Sweet. Oh, and Northgard Uncharted Lands. So they did that before. I was probably remembering incorrectly. Sure, I remember Northgard seeming interesting, so I'm sure this just adds more goodness in, again, a frame where if you've heard of Northgard, you don't have to get everything, right? That's often the case with these expansion campaigns. There will be a bundle, and you upsell yourself consistently, and then you never play the expansion. So many games don't need their expansions unless you're an avid player of those games. And I know that you're not, or you would have heard about it before now. Worldwide acclaimed. There you go. It's easy to get acclaim worldwide. Did you know Room and Board is worldwide acclaimed? Yeah, it's true. People love it all across the world. I'm worldwide acclaimed. See how easy that was? And you know that I'm not worth anything. Cool, that seems like a fun module. Center tile module. Just gives a new focal point. New final victory conditions. Okay, great. This just seems like more of great things for Northgard. I think this is the type of expansion that I love to see as an avid fan of a game. It's something that gives you more stuff. I can already see that this is the stuff that is going to complement and just give you more variability for the experience that you already enjoy, versus trying to reinvent the wheel and add in a ton of extra mechanisms. I don't think you're gonna have to worry about that with this one. It's €49, $50 US, 76 Canadian. Again, with shipping. Shipping would be 18 to 23 euros just for China and Hong Kong. America zone, 20 to 25 euros. Canada zone, 30 to 35 euro. You know, in Canada, we didn't have to pay tax on crowdfunding games for a very long time. And then now I think they're making us do it too, which is annoying that they've got up. that they realized, oh yeah, we should probably be charging tax on those purchases. Nice. They've got the expansions for all of the rule books for all the expansions here as well. I think you get a pretty good sense of it. Again, if you are interested in Northgard, it is that like Vikings 4X experience, which they don't really care to market to you because they're marketing to their existing fan base. You can go to the store and get the regular Northgard, and I imagine you could just do the same here. It doesn't really give me a reason in the stretch goals to warrant spending the additional shipping costs. I imagine, like, my bet would be that all this stuff is just included in the game anyway, and they're saying they're stretch goals, and so I imagine it would be included at retail. But yeah, I've always been interested in Northgard. This doesn't make me any less interested. This doesn't make me any more interested. Maybe like a % more interested just because it's come up on my radar again. It's done well enough that people want to support it and want to back it and get this additional content. And I do think, even not knowing a lot or remembering a lot about the game, I remember things here and there. I know you're exploring the map. I know you're setting up settlements. I know you're fighting other players through dice rolling. But it just coming back up in my view makes me a little bit more interested. I'll play it eventually. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be good, but it doesn't get me wildly excited. But it seems good. Seems like a nice, lighter, quick 4X experience. So if you're interested, that finishes Thursday, April 3rd at 4 p.m. Moving to this one, I just thought, way back when I was clicking on these links, I thought that you've had LED coasters before, but I've never seen the ultimate LED coaster. Aren't you sick and tired of having just the regular LED coasters, the basic LED coaster, even the somewhat passable LED coaster? Well, no more. From the deluge and glut of LED coasters out there, we finally have the Ultimate Edition. This one is ultimate. It's touch activated, backlight LEDs, custom engraved, wireless charging coasters, so you can charge your drink as before you drink it. Get that little jolt of electricity right inside your body. Slurp that up. Slurp it up, which is a good thing. I meant to include that in my Disc Tower West recap. I kept on saying slurp it up when somebody would win a trick. And I think people around the table one person was getting offended. He's like, oh, why are you telling me to slurp up those cards? I was like, have you ever slurped up noodles? Slurp it up is clearly a great thing. And he was like, stuff that up your pothole. And I was like, see, that's a bad one. That's clearly mean. Slurp it up is a nice thing. And I hope you slurp up all the LED electricity that you can warrant. If you wanted an LED coaster, I don't know, I thought the title was funny. Okay, we're moving on to Mistfit Heroes, designed by Phil Walker Harding, as Roel Gaviola would say, praise be, from AEG. Cardcraft amazing heroes and take control of the lands of Absurdia. That sounds rather silly, doesn't it? A new game from the designer of Sushi Go, Gizmos, and Imhotep. I am a Hotep. So this is coming from AEG, which it's going to hit retail. So for the retail version, it'd be $40. 88 people have been backing it. You don't want to be backing that right now. You'll get a better price at retail for sure. You won't have to pay the shipping. For the maximum absurdity, you'll get your neoprene mats, all deluxeified, etc. Wooden coins. That's the one you will want to be purchasing if it is worth it to you. It probably isn't. You're going to create a deck of Mistfit Heroes. It's a tableau building, combo crafting card game. At the beginning of the game, players assemble the shared deck. Each card in the deck is made up of a transparent character card and an attribute card held together in a card sleeve. So you make it once, and then you play it a bunch until you're ready to mix it up again and just swap things in and out. So it's giving you a way to smash up cards without needing to smash up the cards, but you smash them up in a different way. Boxes often have things in them. It's one of my favorite things about them. After the release of a new trading card game, Phil wanted to explore making a similar style game. Instead of creating thousands of cards on his own, he decided to design a game where the cards create themselves. After adding a bit of mischief, Mistfit Heroes was born. Hey, I like this as a marketing tool. Subscribe to the newsletter. You don't have to input your credit card information. At least I hope not. Let's check. No, you just sign up for the AEG newsletter. Build the best 4x4 tableau. Each hero has a cost, a recruitment effect, and an activation effect. Gain influence, collect quests, and beat everybody else. Sure, Kavre always does great how to play. Read the rulebook. Yes, please. Only 8 pages. That's great. After you play a 16th card, the game's over. Sort the quests by number. I see. So there's a different type of and a number for a quest. Cool. It has a one-time ability, and then it has another activation box, which you also will activate when you recruit the card. But you can also activate it with other things as well, other cards. Okay, so you're just gaining influence from the supply, and you're always gaining influence of any color. Oh, you can carry out one of the following main actions. Recruit a hero, draw cards, gain influence, gain 10 coins. You can claim a quest, discard 2 of each of the 3 types to gain the most valuable unclaimed city card, or discard 3 of a type to claim that color. You can only claim 1 quest per turn. Score the points for your quests and the value of your people. Sure, that seems simple enough. I mean, I like the concept. I like the idea that these cards will shift around, that you can really randomize them. I think that's a fun gimmick. I think that's going to make it more likely to hit the table again because you can engage with that gimmick. I think Phil Walker Harding is generally a pretty good designer in this lightweight style of game. And I like games that prioritize sort of economy of action, like action economy. And that's what this will do. Lots of different abilities that you get to activate in ways that hopefully are broken. I don't see any reason to get this at Kickstarter. I think this is for sure a retail thing, but if you're interested, that finishes Friday, April 4th at 8 p.m. Okay, we're gonna keep on moving. Oof, we still have a few to go. Maybe I'll hope things end on Tuesday and I can cut them because I'm getting tired. I've been doing this for a long time, but not going to stop now. Next up, we have Landfall, a cozy volcano island building game. Race to build land formation with your volcanoes on a 3D island that grows as you play. A light 30-minute strategy game for 2 to 4 players. That seems neat, kind of Santorini-esque. You're competing to complete formations. It's like competitive harmonies, let's say, with a nice tactile feel. You'll have your volcanoes, and you'll have your landscape tiles, and you will place them down to complete these shapes. And when you do, you remove your volcano, and you put down a tile saying, I completed a shape. Only $30? I was expecting a lot more, actually. This is just a 2-player version, but because of the chunky tiles. But like Hive is around 20, so 30 including the little volcanoes. That's nice. If you like abstract games, and maybe this is one that could interest you. It's tough, right? Because Santorini exists, Hive exists, and I like both of those games, and I don't know if I would like this more or less. It's a sort of a risk, but $30 feels pretty reasonable if you like those style of games and you wanted to have a shakeup of that idea. I like pattern building. There seems like there's some direct conflict, but not too much. You can knock each other off, but you can just put things right back on. Yeah, so you have that 3D abstract shape that's happening. And then you can get the full expansion, so you can play up to 4 players with $50. The price feels really reasonable, so that's quite nice. And shipping to the US, $5? Canada, $5? I doubt it. I don't believe you. I just straight up don't believe you that I can get this for $5. But they have at least finished some other games as well. They did Abduction, which I remember. They named a couple other things. They said the smash hits. I didn't think that those were necessarily smash hits. This looks like a better game than any of their previous fare as well. It seems simple, pared down, knows what it is. I don't know if it will be that exciting. It seems like it needs something else to give it that je ne sais quoi. But what that is, I don't know in French. That finishes on Friday, April 4th at 11:59 p.m. All right, sure. I'll talk about this one. I wasn't sure because it doesn't have a lot of backers, so I wasn't sure if this would be that interesting. I'm still not sure if it's that interesting, but it might appeal to some of you. This is a fisherman-style game. It's called the Fisherman Game, designed for 1 to 4 players, where you take command of a fishing vessel and set sail towards unknown seas to capture the most coveted, largest, and possibly unknown species, all while trying to return safely to port, avoiding the dangers of the sea. Yep, avoiding them. And the fierce competition from other players. There's also a solo deck add-on designed for 2 to 4 players. The winner is the one who catches the biggest or rarest fish and successfully brings them back to the dock. Boats are created similar to an RPG, using base score plus a die roll to determine how many points can be allocated to different characteristics of your vessel. The sea is divided into 4 zones, ranging from the coastal waters to the deep unknown. You have to manage your fuel, crew, and equipment to venture into the open sea and return safely. So there's 230 cards, there's disaster cards, there's fish cards, there's event cards, using an American-style element driven by dice rolls in terms of conserving fuel, returning to port, discover what the sea has to offer. You can also wait for the tide to bring you closer to the coast. That's neat. Dice rolls determine events. Through dice rolls, you'll determine if you'll catch a fish. Seems like there's a lot of dice rolling. Put the ship in a green port, then move. You use 1 move and use 1 fuel token, then roll the d10 to see what happens. From 2 to 7, take a fish card. 8, take an opportunities card. 9, take an unexpected card. 0, take a disaster card. 1, lucky fishing. Take a fish card for the next sea zone deck, read the card description, and apply what it says. You want to reach the most distant parts of the sea, catch the fish. So it's a real sort of dice-driven game, but I like that the dice rolls seem fairly mitigated. You're always going to catch a fish, but something cool might happen, and that idea of the percentages feel correct to me. Just taking a look at this. You have a base score of 20 points, and you can divide that score, so it's really choosing how to build your ship. You can throw away some of your catch back into the sea, and the sea will reward you with more fuel. It'll spit the fuel back up at you. Poseidon will be like, thank you for returning my brethren to me. Here, have a big old canister of oil that I've suckled out of the sea for you. Slurp it up. You can tow somebody back to sea too. So yeah, just run out, roll a bunch of dice as much as you can, capture as many fish as you can, and make it back to port. That seems interesting to you. That finishes Saturday, April 5th at 2:49 a.m. Moving along, we're not covering this Cosmic Conquest, which has raised $52,000. I don't think they used Launch Boom. They did the Backer Club. But they also did the pre-launch crowdfunding feature. So it's on this list. It's a $1 pre-pledge. We're not going to cover that. This right here is, it's not funding. It says, turn your dinner table into a gaming table. I just clicked on it because of the picture. I thought, yeah, this is how you turn it into a gaming table. Put a bunch of hard corners on it. Turn your dining table into a very unsafe table, even more unsafe for your small children running around. I don't see how putting a sheet over your table turns it into a gaming table. Add a corner to your table. I mean, you know what? All power to you. They're fun. What do you expect? You want to put something on the corner of your table that's shaped like a dragon? This is the place to go to. We're leaving it in. We're leaving it in. Put them on any corner. It's not just your table. You could put it on your desks. You could put it on your cubicle at work. What else could you put it on? Anything that has a corner. Anytime you get a new box that you're about to open, put it on all your board game boxes. They could be dragoned up, right? The possibilities are literally endless as long as you have square-shaped things. Oh, I'm not covering this. I don't care. I saw this was like 5,000 over the pledge, but it was only a $500 goal in another TCG and VTuber card game based entirely on VTubers. They don't need Kickstarter. Well, you don't need me. I think I remember looking at this before, and I remember thinking it's just an average card game. I'm not looking at this. I'm done. I want to go home. Wait, I am home. Oh no, this is my home? Oh, it's even worse. Next up, we've got World Stitchers, Phanerozoic, and Heroes of Tenefyr. I can pronounce fantasy words like nobody's business, but Phanerozoic, what is that? Is that a real word? Yeah, it's the current and latest of the 4 geologic eons in Earth's geologic time scale. The Phanerozoic? Phanerozoic. There's no British pronunciation. They're like, nah, the Phanerozoic. Add that to the apotropaic Phanerozoic list of words that we're going to give Harry Mack one day. We got 3 of them. Forest through oh, it went too quickly. Drafting shared tableau building. Only €12. All right, cool. Didn't listen to any of that. Let's see what it's like. Gameplay overview. During each of your turns as World Stitchers, you perform one action, then you move your meeple around the world. You connect a tile. Energy spreads into the new tile, and there'll be a bunch of energy dropped everywhere. You can move, uses one of your stamina tile. For each tile in your stamina, you can move 1 space. Having more tiles in your stamina lets you move further. How do you get those? I don't know. Use the energy to collect to improve your stamina. That's the one. Or to build giant spires. After one player has built their 3rd spire, or when a player has collected 40 energy, the final round is triggered. The player with the most points will be the winner, can give their world a new name. So lay a tile in a way that will create the most connecting spaces for you, and then move to pick up that energy. You want to keep it away from other people who want to get the energy for themselves. Not overwhelmed. Error, too many downloads. Slow down. I just clicked on it once. Your stamina determines how much and where you can move, so you'd have to move on those specific tiles. So I do like that. You are creating the chain at which you can connect to your tiles. Moving on that specific type of terrain, at least, is a little bit interesting. And then there's common market, so that you can decide where you're going. Yeah, all right. That's not too bad. And that one's going to cost you €22. Oh no, sorry, that one's going to cost you €32. Yeah, $50 Canadian. Everything is going to cost you €75. Phanerozoic is a card game about the evolution of life on Earth. Small box game that feels a lot bigger. For €12, this is the interesting one. You have 29 species, and then you have mutations. This is what I want evolution to be. After a drafting phase, each player will have 3 cards that they can either play, discard, or keep. All players influence the same plants and animals. Tuck mutation cards underneath the plants or animals to give them new attributes. You give a platypus wings. The card tucked underneath at the top shows the population of the species. To evolve the species into new ones, you need a living plant or animal with all the attributes listed at the bottom of the new species card. Okay, you'll have additional cards. You will need to have put those under something to then turn it into the other thing. Got it. Then nature will eat. Then you reveal your secret goal. Some goals award points for species that are alive at the end of the game for certain attributes. Others give you a point to making sure certain animals go extinct. Great. Yeah, I like that as a concept. That actually seems quite nice. I do like that you're adding it all to a common pool that changes the game a little bit, gives you these secret goals. I think for a game where you're contributing, where you have secret goals, you want to go for the Pope one. But this for €12 feels very nice. 19 Canadian, yeah, I really like that for a price of small box games. That's quite good. And then the Heroes of Tenefyr is a cooperative deck building game with push your luck element. Play as one of the heroes and fight together through various dungeons. Each defeated enemy is also an upgrade to your deck. Love that. Gameplay overview. Choose a dungeon together, fight the enemy inside. There are 10 dungeons with 5 difficulty levels. Each dungeon contains 4 enemies. Play your cards and combine your power with the other players. Just a little cooperative game exploring things. Yeah, let's look at the rules. I didn't feel like I needed to look at the rules at Phanerozoic. That felt very clear to me. This feels a little bit less clear in terms of all the inner workings going on. Come on, baby. We're close. We're close. This has been a long one. For sure. Maybe this is, you only get 2 videos this week. Cool. Each card is broken down into the monster, what its strength is, and then on the reverse side, you'll just reverse it upside down so that they are multi-use cards. How do you kill though? All cards have a power number in the upper left corner, which you add as your total power for the combat. So essentially you use all of your cards for their power. It's buying power. It's a different way of thinking about buying cards, but you're buying the cards off together and you're putting the power together so that you're dealing damage to these people as they come up. And they will always have a negative effect the longer that they last. Simple little cooperative dungeon crawler. Doesn't seem that interesting. Also, the other one doesn't seem that interesting. Phanerozoic is the only one here that seems interesting. Shipping is 11 to 16 to the US, 23 to 25 to Canada, so that kills the potential deal that Phanerozoic is. Fun to look at. If you're interested, those 3 finish Tuesday, April 8th at 10 a.m. We got 2 more, baby. We can get through it. Let's get through it. Next up, we have Rise of Myths Cthulhu. Play a cooperative roguelike deck building game in which you will improve your deck after each attempt as you face the great old ones and their minions while they try to destroy your body and your sanity. Synergic Games. What else have you done? Oh, they did Harakiri. Oh, right. This is also the one that I forget, what did they say about their art design? Because this is just all AI art, right? Like, so much is AI art now. Somebody was saying that when they were talking about the art, they were like, yeah, we could have not done AI art, but that would have been just hard, you know? And would have cost us money. It just would have been tough. Would have been tough for us to do. So we just decided, nah. Yeah, it just would have been hard. It would have been hard and we would have had to pay for it. We took the easy and not pay for it route. Fair enough, you know? Nah, too hard. Oh, do you not have a rulebook? Yes, please. Please. Well, there are videos you can watch. Like the reason why I always harp on rulebooks is because anybody can watch a video. That's not what I'm here for, right? If you want to go watch a Board Game Co video, he's got one on every single game. And he does a good job of it. For me, I like to look into the mechanics of the thing and see the pivot point, the fun pivot points, right? Like I want to see if there are interesting things of the flow that I can identify that you don't sometimes get from just a video going over the general overview. That's why I care about it. Shipping is going to be 16 to the US, 19 to the Canary Islands, so they're covered. 19 to Canada as well. Us in the Canary Islands. Okay. I don't think there's a rulebook here. I wonder if it's in the update. Do you want to see some more gameplay in the Nightmare expansion? Tabletop Simulator demo. Okay. Because Tabletopia, there's always a section for rules. That's how you can find it sometime. Also, rulebook available. Ugh, there's a rulebook. So the rulebook's there. Why is it not on the main page? That's my question. It's gotta be. It's hidden in an update because they think only the people who care. Oh, no, it's right here. All right, you're very close to the top of the page. Well done. Honestly, way higher than a lot of other people. I take it all back. Rulebook was available back in January when they were just doing pre-launch marketing. Great job. Oh, it must not have been this one? I don't know. It seems like they're going into detail about how the art was created. What was I actually looking for in here, though, in the FAQ? It wasn't that. Oh, maybe more about the roguelite. Cooperative deck building game from 1 to 3 players. It was giving me major kind of Etherfields vibes, because you're going to have a small mini map that you're moving around, and you'll start with this group token, which also indicates to me, hey, it's going to be move, battle, move, battle, move, battle, right? Move, battle, improve your deck, etc., etc. I'm less interested in games where you improve your deck over 20 plays. I'm more interested in games in which you start out like deck building. Start out, improve your deck, go on a journey, beat a thing. Game's divided into 2 main phases. Exploration phase, where you investigate the location using exploration cards, and the encounter phase, where you have a fight. If you can't draw a connection card just randomly, it doesn't work with the picture, you have to lose a sanity. That doesn't seem fun unless there's a push your luck element of the exploration. You just have to kind of explore until you hit encounters. Oh, and there's different encounter symbols on it, and you make a pathway through the streets. Okay, that could be fun. Combat event shop, getting to certain spaces. You're also losing sanity once an encounter is completed. So if you ever backtrack for any reason, you lose sanity. You got to find the central icon on the Guardian card to fight the Guardian. Exploration seems fine, doesn't get me excited, but, I think it would be an idea of not backtracking and exploring new things. You also need to hit the combat. Like, you'll have to hit things in order, or you'll have to make a sacrifice if you don't hit things in order. I can see that being interesting. You have a number of different cards, character cards, action cards, attack, defense, skill cards. They do different things. They will give you, ooh, that's scary, attack points, and then you'll use it to attack the monsters, distribute the damage to the monsters, right? You have to only choose one when you're attacking someone, unless otherwise specified. In order to play cards, you have to gain energy, so you can spend other cards in your deck to gain energy, or you can spend the energy to do the thing. So you have to manage your hand in that way. You're not going to be able to play all your cards. You can have a really powerful card, but then you have to get rid of other smaller cards. I like that in terms of flow. I think that's a fun hand management flow of a deck building game, where you'll have to sacrifice certain cards, but it gives you flexibility of choice too, of having a big strong card in your hand and being able to just get rid of that to do all the other things that you want to do. Oh, that's what those little energy tokens were in the video. They can also have cooperative effects, so that's nice. Feels like this would be fine as a, say, 1 to 3 player game. I think 1 is fine in it, even though there are like synergy cards that you might miss out on. The character's turn ends when none of them has available actions, or all of them decided not to perform any actions, and then the enemies attack. Often how games are balanced and scaled is it'll be a person takes a turn, then an enemy will take a turn. Here, are they saying that all the characters will get to activate? That doesn't feel... Yeah, once maintenance is finished, the character holding the leader token becomes the active character. When a character is active, they can do all the active cards. I'm sure it is a back and forth of one character, one enemy. That just balances it out. Otherwise, then playing with 3 people would be inherently easier than playing with 1. Kind of chains together in terms of the damage that's going to keep going on if they stay alive. So you got to take them out quick. This is the best part, is that every time you complete combat, you get a card reward. So you get to look through your own personal deck, and you get to you get to shuffle your deck, draw 3, pick 1, improve your deck throughout the game. I think that flow feels fun to me. That's the only thing that has currently felt exciting to me, is that leveling up aspect. I'm sure it'll be fun to manage the hands of cards as well. So that's the potential there. How much is the actual pledge? Because this is everything. This is 189. No. Investigator pledge, €49, Nightmare expansion. I think people are talking about how it seemed expensive, but that seems reasonable. It's like a big card deck builder. I mean, it's still $100, but it's Kickstarter, right? Like, that's what it's going to be. Yeah. There's a lot of Cthulhu games out there. There's a lot of deck building games out there. This feels very Etherfields-esque in that exploration aspect. Maybe not, because you had to do checks with Etherfields. Not really like combats, but it was specific checks. I don't know. It just seems okay, It's nothing that's really standing out to me. So if it's not an enthusiastic yes, it's a no. That finishes on the 8th at 1 p.m. And finally, our last one of the week. This is G.I. Joe Operation Cobra. Yo, Jobra. G.I. Joe Operation Cobra is a cooperative tactical action game that can also be played solo. Players control a G.I. Joe team, an elite special forces unit consisting of highly trained soldiers and people from all walks of life. They face the villainous organization Cobra, which aims to dominate the world through chaos and destruction. People were like, I don't know how this company got the license for G.I. Joe when Renegade's been doing a whole crapload of G.I. Joe stuff within recent memory, and I agree with them. OCG Games, I think they're a newer company. Yeah, I think this is their only thing that they have, but, you know, fun G.I. Joe art. Why back now? We launched this crowdfunding campaign on GameFound to reach as many G.I. Joe fans as possible. It's GameFound Joe. Oh, again, I've been forgetting to watch the videos. Let's watch a video, too. Let's learn even what this is about. It's another campaign. Do you have what it takes to be a Joe? No, I definitely don't. $125 is the starting number. All right, the game overview. How G.I. Joe Operation Cobra works. You take on the role of an elite G.I. Joe team. Select a squad of 2 to 4 Joes. Activate a minimum of the maximum of 2 Joes per turn. Honestly, just calling them Joes makes me really laugh. Ha ha ha. You see? I wasn't lying. Perform 2 actions, then Cobra activates. They'll activate one of their villains or an entire squad of troopers. AI, yep, has their own activation deck. I do appreciate non-distinct activation decks just from a setup perspective, but I also appreciate distinct activation decks because it gives more variability. Campaign, you're going to be getting upgrades, so very similar to kind of Earth Under Siege. I'd rather play Earth Under Siege than this, I think, but I do like that they can be played individually or as a standalone. Some missions will have consequences that carry over. Joes might be captured, forced to escape a Cobra prison, or failing to gather intel in a previous mission could make the next one significantly harder. Yeah, that makes sense. Campaign Cobra. The roles are reversed. You take the role of Cobra. Cool. Then there's a skirmish mode, an expansion that puts player against player. They're throwing everything at it. Streamlined dice system. All games, actions require dice. Attack, defense, range. They're rolled using a single custom dice. Hits and misses, probably. Weapons also have unique properties. So you roll the special contributors. So you have hits, how much damage it does, and then how many special things you get to add into it. I like that. Yeah, that seems neat. It's deterministic. Not at all, because it also determines the hits. So that was a complete lie. And there's a stealth system. What's that? Certain missions begin with the Joes already in stealth, making it advantageous to remain undetected. Excel at staying hidden. All right, that's what I want to look up in this, is mainly the stealth system. I think it's 52 pages that I just don't have it in me at this point of the now night. It started as day, and it's now night. We've gotten through a lot of campaigns. I wonder, is this going to be the longest episode of crowdfunding? It certainly feels like it, and then anytime I say it's like that, then I get into editing, and I realize that, oh, I just spent time reading it and looking at stuff, and then I was able to distill it in like 2 sentences, and it doesn't really reflect the amount of time that it took. So who knows? Who knows what the timestamps are down below, but you know. I don't. Who knows? Everybody watching, just not current Chris of the present. Stealth and hidden. That's page 38. That's what I want to see. Okay, you get to add a buff. Dense smoke allows you to hide. The character must have cover from all visible enemies. Have no line of sight to any enemy. That makes sense. Oh, so you just have a token. You fire a weapon and don't activate the silent property. Cool, so there's a silent aspect to it. I like that. Fails a stealth roll. Stealth rolls at a distance to where they could be spotted. You check the enemy's perception, which is +5 spaces. You take a perception randomly, place it next to each enemy in line of sight. The number of the token is added to that enemy's perception value. The hidden character then rolls a stealth check. If the perception value and token is equal to or greater than the distance of the Joe, they've been detected. They're no longer hidden. Cool, so simple stealth mechanism that you're likely going to be found out pretty quickly, I would guess. Yeah, I don't know. Cobra activations. If at any point if you've used all the CAC cards, the CAC cards, I think that's what Jobra calls it. That's what Cobra calls it. Cobra and Jobra. Yo, Jobra. Wow, check for dice rolls. If any defense die shows a single defense result, the attack fails completely. So at least a 1 in 6 chance of it never working. I don't know if I like that. Your actions as a Joe are move, attack, interact, rest, heal, and then special actions. So every character will have their own special actions. Mostly it's moving and attacking. Attacking is dealt with range, using those special. I think the key here, the thing that's going to make it fun and interesting, is going to be using those special stars, rolling the stars, and getting to activate the stars on your specific character's ability. I think that's going to be the exciting part, the memorable moments of it. You'll always have to deal with line of sight, so if you hate line of sight, don't even look into this. It seems decently involved, but a lot of that has to do with like cover and managing the AI pushing forward. Oh, Cobra also have signature moves too, so they can use their stars against you as well. Yeah, moving those dice, using the dice against you. All right, and then so the base pledge is 125. That's 183 Canadian. So after shipping, again, that is 28. So $200, 210, $220 Canadian for another big mini dungeon crawl. With a lot of Joes. The core game. I mean, you don't really get that many minis in the core game. If we're being real, you get 39 minis. That's pretty expensive. Like normally you just get a box full of minis. Probably paying the IP tax as well. Sure, I like the streamlined dice system. That does seem nice. It seems like a lot of line of sight. I'm not really that attached to the theme. It's also the end of my focus, if I'm being honest. And there wasn't really... Nothing broke through my focus wall. Sometimes when I'm looking through these campaigns, I'll look through and generally in the game overview, something will really perk me up. Like the stealth kind of perked me up. And then I realized, okay, it's a fairly simple stealth system. The fun is going to revolve around using your special abilities to just mow down people. Feels fairly basic, but not in a bad way. Just in a way that doesn't make me actively care about it or actively get me excited enough to like throw $200 down. But if you're a big G.I. Joe fan, well, then I think it is worth checking out. I think it's probably a bit too expensive for what it's worth. Maybe it'll come to retail. Maybe it won't. I don't really know this company, so not sure. Anyway, if you're interested in that finishes next Tuesday at 2 p.m. That is it for the week. Now, every week I do a pick for me and a pick for you. The pick for me being the thing that I think is the most interesting. And the pick for you being the thing I think if you would be let down with the least. I had a feeling I knew what one of those things was going to be coming into this, but we have a lot of campaigns to review. So let's review them now with a little grunt down, because boy, oh boy, we had a lot. Yeah. No. No. Meh. No. Meh. No. No. Or, depending who you talk to. Cute. Nah. No. Meh, maybe? Sure. Nah. Yeah. Meh. Slurp it up. No. Yeah. Meh. Absolutely not. Absolutely yes. Sure. No. Meh. No. Meh. I mean, yeah. Meh. Nah. Absolutely not. I mean, nah. Yeah. Nah. And yeah. So we had a lot there. I think we have a clear pick for me. It's never been more of a pick for me. It's the shipping that's stopping me. But if this comes to retail, I'm getting a copy, like, for sure. Habemus Papam is the pick for me. This is why I do Crowdfunding Countdown. I hadn't heard about this at all. I've been interested. I've liked Salt and Pepper's games that they've put forward. They've always felt interesting to me in various levels. But this one just... really think it's funny. It feels like a very funny theme. And the flow of the putting the influence down, I really like. My favorite part about this is that in a 4-player game, it takes 3 people passing to end the round. That is the thing that I like mechanically. That's the thing that's jumping out to me specifically about this one and is making me excited. So it's just the little things like that. And then the pick for you is going to be Pillars of Fate or Scales of Fate. It's great that they have, I mean, again, Ivy Studios is a great studio. I've always enjoyed their games. There hasn't been a game that I've actively disliked. I've liked their games to various degrees, but I like Veiled Fate, I really enjoy. I think it's a great game. I think Scales of Fate will capture some of that essence in a 2-player version in a way that is different from Veiled Fate. And that's not something that I was expecting it to do. I really like the guessing gives you points at the end. I think that is very exciting. And I like the boom or bust mechanism that's in there of getting your pieces right next to each other. Because if you don't, if they're just one apart, you're only going to get 1 point, right? And being able to manipulate that in a way to make everything spaced out just one, that could be, has a potential of it being very exciting. And I wasn't expecting to like Pillars of Fate with this lane battling aspect. I was like, it'll probably be fine. But it's intriguing me a lot more when you have your extra 3 hero powers associated with it, some significant twists, and $20 for this feels great for Ivy Studios prices. And the fact that they're doing one for $40 for the standard edition of Scales of Fate, that feels really nice. I love a nice standard edition. I want to champion that for sure. And Ivy Studios games they always hit with me. So this would have been the pick for me if Habemus Papam wasn't around. But luckily, I got to include both of them in. That's it for a monumentally large week. I don't know if I've ever covered this many campaigns in a single week before. If that translated to time with me spent in your earlobes, I don't know. But I appreciate you letting me shout at you for the last couple hours, I assume. I assume it's pared down to at least that. And thanks for being here. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks to, again, everybody who supports the channel, and for you for liking and subscribing and sharing it amongst every board gaming platform that you know. Go, share it wide and far. You've made it this far? Do me a solid and do that. And just everybody share it. Share it everywhere. So everybody knows how just revolting a human being I am. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you all. I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful day, as I'm sure it's now night for you as well. And that's it. My name's Chris George. Oh no, this is really embarrassing, but I don't have a catchphrase, so I don't really have a way to end this other than taking this very quick elevator. That's about as far as the chair goes down. I need to take my camera, put it here so that I'm not like hunched over. So that forces me to sit up. Anyway, let me take the. Oh, sorry, I'm talking to you from way down here. Let me take the elevator back up. There we go. Let me take the side elevator. Oh, they can't see me now. That's good. Bye.